Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is... I shouldn't say that anymore, should I? Good evening, absolutely everyone. Well, I'll figure a way around that. I slipped back into old habits. It's time for Warframe. You know, it's that thing. It's time for Warframe. Whatever. We're here. We're here. Hello, guys. How are we all doing today? Oh, there, MG Joker, stream hype. Absolutely. Hello, Zom. Hello, Space Cadet. How are we all doing? How are we all today? I can't believe it. We're already at the last stream before Christmas here in the UK. We've got, let me see. We got today's stream. We got the stream after Christmas. So that's on Boxing Day, 26th. We've got then the Wednesday stream after that. And then the Friday stream on New Year's Eve. We're running out of streams. We're running out. Or at least for this year, you know. This is another year of streams. I'm not stopping forever, but we're running to the very end here. Big tired? Don't worry, Tom. You can chill now. You can chill. Kevinoid Ken saying, hi, your builds are awesome. I do, thank you. Glad you enjoy them. Hopefully all are working well. And with regards to any of the builds I do put out there, obviously they aren't the be-all and end-all of builds. I will say that straight up. The builds I put out usually on, well, they all go up on YouTube. Those builds are designed to work for the majority of people. But niche cases are going to exist, and unless I call it out as a niche one, like the index build for the Foreman, it just kind of, it leads you in the right direction to make those last little tweaks specific to your playstyle. But of course, I'm glad you're enjoying the ones you got. Hello there, Sigan, hope you're doing well today. Now, whilst this may be the last stream before the Christmas in the UK here, and I keep stressing in the UK because I've learned that Christmas isn't the same date around the world. No one taught me that. Going up and through school, you know, I'm living here in what's supposed to be a supposedly Christian country. No one teaches us that. Or rather, if someone mentioned it, it went straight over my head. But yeah, so Christmas on different days around the world. But this is the approach up to the Christmas in the UK at the very least. Space Gets saying, just got the last handle for Ninkandi Prime. Nice. There, Beardface, hope you're doing well today as well. Hello, Adam Alec. All the same to yourselves as well. So yeah, with regards to this though, we're not slowing down or anything. I still want to get some grind cracking out. I still want to get... Excuse me, I've had a curry recently. That one always argues with me, but yeah. Do still want to get some grind cracking out. Do want to do a little bit of experimentation with some weaponry. See what details we can find out about this one right here, the Natteruk. I would like to know a little bit more about that. Because I've been doing some testing. I've been doing some general testing and figuring out the ways and means of the working. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of the practical mathematics behind it before later on I'm going to go behind the scenes into the final theoretical mathematical side. Because, spoilers, that's what the next video is going to be about. It's going to be about the Natteruk. I would like to have that out this week. However, I cannot make any guarantees because I'm taking time off working for family for Christmas. So I might get that out in time, I might not. I cannot make any guarantees. Cannot make any guarantees on that. Hello, Golden Stars. Hello there, Rainuva. So I'm trying to think. First time in a while, I didn't get a Prime Resurgence frame the day it rotated. Run out of Void Traces. Yeah, well, that'll do it, won't it? Yeah. Joke saying, yeah, even across Christians, Christmas is different depending on if you're Orthodox or Catholic. I mean, there you are. There you are. I never was amazing with religious studies at school, I will be honest. I didn't pay the most attention, partly because the teachers were a little bit crap. It turns out that when it comes to teaching something as personal as religion, teachers would tend to focus on what they're familiar with and what they believe in and what they support, and kind of just go by the wishy-washy syllabus when it came to anything else. To the point that when it came around to things which were closer to my family, I was like, yeah, no, what are you saying? You're saying it's broad like it's everything, that's just one specific sect. You're just reading a syllabus, aren't you, love? It's kind of hard to follow along when you know that a teacher literally does not know their stuff. But that's religion. It's all over the place, and I try not to get into it too much. Tea, however, tea I can understand. Tea's tea. I know there's loads of teas, don't go there, but tea to me is just a good old standard. What I call tea, I understand is tea, and tea works for me. Going over saying, at work, can't listen, take my energy anyways for support. Well, I mean, if you're at work at the moment, maybe you want to hold on to some of that energy, but appreciate it all the same, my dude. Appreciate it all the same. Godly Schnars, nearly done with all primes, just need to get like 20 parts total. Ooh, you are nearly there. All the best on that there, Godly Schnars. I think I have quite a few primes left out if I look at it myself. If I go sort by progress, go way down here. Oh yeah, there's a few for me to get through. I've got Vectis, Spira, Soma, Sicarus, Nami Skylar. I sold Rim for that the other day actually, that was nice. Latron Prime, I've got... There's quite a few more. Harrow Prime, he's currently building. We'll get to that. Fraggle Prime, Galatine Prime, Boar Prime, Bow Prime, Vasto Prime, and Stiletto Prime. I've got a few primes to get through still, Sue. Still two. There we are. Words. Yeah, I've still got a few to get through. They've not really been a priority for me. Ever since I hit MR30, I was like, you know what? Let's ease off the MR pedal a moment. Let's focus on things other than just filling out those weapon slots with, you know, yet more weapons I'm not giving enough time and attention to. Instead, focusing more on what I have got and using that better. And then D brings out some more stuff, so, you know, I kind of didn't end up doing that. But, you know, the idea was there. What's that? Terrace Edwards saying, very good day, everyone. Very good day to you as well, my dude. Hope you're doing well. Well, it's not leveling, just getting them all. I mean, fair. If they say, if Ken decides to start his RPG campaign, I should call it TNT. That's an idea. That is definitely an idea, TNT. Although it sounds a little bit like I'm going to blow the place up and, you know, explosive streams. Who would love them? Red Panda saying, as per usual, may I inquire as to your invigorations for the week? You may indeed, good sir. You may indeed. Let's go have a look. What have I got invigorations wise? Because I do tend to forget them, despite the fact that I put this message in our clan message. Basically when it came out. Don't forget your helmet invigorations are unlocked. Yeah, I forget them. Let's see, what do we got here? We've got Banshee, Ash, and Severgoth. I feel a little bit of edge on that end there. We have got, with Banshee, secondary critical chance and energy rate. Okay. Not really the kind of thing I'd want for Banshee to help her out. You know, she could always do something in the tank department more than anything. But it's a thing. For Ash, we've got bonus melee damage, bonus energy max. Ooh. I wonder if that melee damage would apply to his 4. And then on Severgoth, we've got plus ability range and immunity to status effects. Now the status effects one, it's kind of so-so, but that ability range. Oh yeah, dude, yeah, that's my message to the clan. I typed that one in. Yeah. That's why it's been there for so long. I typed it in. How do you lock the invigorations for helmet? So to get these, you need to get the helmet upgrade segments, the tier above just the helmet segment. You get that from Father at the Entrati, just like with the original segment, but you need to be a higher rank. I think it's rank 5 with the Entrati to get that one. But yeah. Once you got it, you just plug it in and these start popping up. And you'll notice I have an override available. I have an override, which means I could put any one of these onto any frame in the entire game. For example, I could put the bonus ability range there onto Equinox or onto Lavos, who both love their ability range. I could put this melee damage and energy max onto, say, Valkyr. Or, you know, Excalibur, if you wanted me to. And with Banshee here, I mean, that critical chance, that could go on to basically any frame with that secondary there. That could do wonders on pretty much anyone. The plus energy rate, it's only 2. Let's be real now, that's low. Because I can get plus energy rate from a lot of places. Red Panda saying, invigorated Severgoth with Epitaph, if that's not asking too much. Oh, now you are asking a little bit, choosing a weapon there as well, Red Panda, but given it's such a good weapon, I think I can acquiesce to that. I think so. Joker say, I made a meme related to what you just said about T. Can I post a link? Sure, let me just quickly permit you there, Joker. Let me just quickly do that. Where is the button to permit? Where is the button to permit? Where's the permit button? They've moved it. Oh, Twitch. Where is it? I swear, I used to just have a button that said permit. And now it's gone. I'm going to guess that Beard's going to find it before I get there. What is this? Yeah, I have no idea what that was. Let me just type this in manually. Permit MG Joker. There you go. Alright, now it works. I don't know where that specific button for permission went, but sure. Did you just say thanks, Beard, to me typing it in? Did you really just say thanks, Beard, to me typing it? Oh. Honestly, this guy, I go to all that effort, all of that. It's fine. All right, let's have a look at this, shall we, guys? Let's have a quick look at that one. Let's zoom this in. Well, there are over 3,000 varieties of tea, each with its own specific characteristics. The naming and growing of teas is in many ways similar to wine. The engineer, tea is tea. I mean, not quite, but also yes. Not quite, but also yes. Oh dear. Alright, let's zoom that back to normal. Where did you find such a small version of this? Wow. Alright. Let's put that one aside for now. There we go. Melee damage configurations also apply to pseudo-exalteds, but not exalteds, so it could be decent for Ash. Oh, that is interesting to know. Doesn't apply to actual exalteds. That's weird. That's weird. I mean, what? Alright. Oh, don't worry about it, Joker. I'm just surprised you managed to find a small image to start with, let alone adding on the bits. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, excuse me again, because that curry is continuing to play Bonnie. Oh dear. Not play Bonnie. So I'm going to be invigorating Sevagoth, and that's going to be our starter frame for today as we go into today's sortie. But the question is, what the hell actually is today's sortie, guys? Let's have a look at that then, shall we? We have got a hive mission with sniper only. A sniper only Sevagoth with Epitaph. I feel like that's not going to work, Red Panda. It's kind of hard to use the Epitaph on sniper only, so what do you say I move that one over to the Sabotage instead? That sound better to you there? We'll just do a normal mission for the hive one. And after that we have got the Spy with Radiation Hazard. Okay, I mean it's a spy mission, so the radiation shouldn't matter too much, although alarms might get called earlier. So that could be a problem. Any thoughts on a new bow? Oh, it is incredible. Genuinely incredible. I'm going to be going over that a lot more in the stream and even more in the video coming up on it. It is incredible as a bow. Absolutely. Second mission is fine. Zaku for the hive, says Beard. Yeah, let's do that. And for Renova, Teshin changed his name. He's no longer Teshin, he is Tesh out. I didn't realise that was a bad joke, Redemption. God damn it. Okay, you got me. You got me. You bastard. I thought that was just a highlighted message. You bastard. Alright. Come on, Zaku. As requested by Beard. Let's go do this. Let's put all the bits and pieces on, because I had been de-equipping a whole bunch of stuff for testing purposes. We can stop doing that now. I need a sniper rifle, not a Natteruk, because that is a bow. There's a sniper. Job's a good one. Overall impression of the latest content release. How do you sum up an update this big in an overall impression? Quest, confusing, amazing, awe-inspiring, full of plot holes, including and around the timey-wimey stuff that doesn't get rid of all of them. But overall, staggeringly impressive, and certainly you can understand why they call it a cinematic quest. A lot of people, I think, were expecting something else when they heard cinematic quest, kind of forgetting the word cinematic. That is very important to any judgment and reception of that quest. And it was good. It was good. With regards to the content thereafter, the acquisition of Caliban, not the biggest fan of that. The drop rates seem nice at first as I posted them, but the actual acquisition is a little bit more painful, and the brand new resources a bit more grindy and painful to get as well. As for the weapons, the Natteruk is amazing. The melees I have still to properly explore. I've got them leveled, but I haven't properly explored them. And the amp, well, that's just well down the list for me, quite frankly, because amps are amps, you know? Unless someone points out something amazing about it, amps are amps. Amps are amps, so yeah. What else? Was there big bits that I missed outside of that? The bounties themselves, a little bit uninspired. I was very disappointed, not gonna lie, very disappointed with the new bounties that when you hack things for it, like hacking the drone, it doesn't use the new hacking system. It uses the old one. Like, come on. Hold up. There's a whole new hacking system and a whole new bounty, and you want to tell me you didn't implement one in the other? That's just disappointing, in my opinion. That's just disappointing. That would have been the way to still access that hacking interface, that novelty. And it's not there? I hope that gets hot fixed. Really do. That would be something for the new year to add to the new war. If that gets changed over, that would be a good change. Even though it's not a major one, that would be a good change in my opinion. But aside from that, overall, I think it's a good update. As with any update, there are going to be highs, there are going to be lows, there are going to be winners, there are going to be losers. Overall, this is a winner of an update. I'm happy with it. And for those curious, no, this is not a sponsored stream, and that even then doesn't change my opinion on stuff. My true honest opinion of it all. So, with that aside, if you want to be joining in for the Saucy, make sure you do send a message over to the Kengineer. We're going to go do that Hive mission first, and then the other two, obviously, afterwards. If you want to be part of this, just send me a quick message, and I'll bring you on into the squad. Quad Demonstratum saying, agreed, although I was expecting a new or additional feature. Well, when you're focusing on a quest that literally takes 6 hours to complete. Granted, I was on stream and chatting with you guys here at the same time, but it was 6 hours on stream to complete that one, and I still haven't explored absolutely everything in it. It's understandable that there's a certain limit to the amount of content that will actually come out in one big update like that. The inclusion of slightly reskinned bounties, I was expecting more in that regard, in terms of any kind of post-war content, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst situation. It's not the best, but far from it, but it's not the worst. And as for other new features, I mean, we have gotten some pretty new stuff in regards to the weaponry. Yeah, it's not completely unique, but we got some pretty new stuff there, and there is the avenue for yet more of it to be adapted into evergreen content. So we're just gonna have to see how it goes. We're gonna have to see how it goes. Their quest was fairly bug-free this time. True, yeah, some people did encounter a variety of different bugs here or there. I think I encountered a couple during it as well, but nothing really game-breaking. We could, on release, just kind of sail through the quest, and by and large, it just worked. That was good. That was definitely good. Of course, saying what I mean by additional feature is another focus school tree, for example. That's very specific. You'd say, for example, but that's still a very specific thing to add in. And again, it's a cinematic quest. Adding and balancing a whole new set of features around focus, for example, itself, which is already somewhat imbalanced in its distribution, that would be quite an undertaking on top of what they're already doing. Remember, they did add in new weapons, new mods, the quest itself. They basically recreated, well, not recreated, but reimagined different ways of engaging with the universe by giving us a Warframe light gameplay with Carl, a adapted kind of summon controller way of gameplay with Viso. We had a mildly different way of playing with Teshid. His was my least favourite of them all, not gonna lie. And then we had an entirely different way of handling the whole operator approach to things with the Drifter. Like, that's huge. That was quite a difference to ordinary gameplay there. That was quite the step away. By the way, if we're talking about New War, should put spoilers in title. Oh, did I forget to put spoilers in it? I did. Sorry, my bad. There we go. Very correct there, Depressed Han. I've just updated stream title with the word spoilers in all caps right at the start of it. I mean, again, at this point, if someone's just going to blunder on into a stream and be like, oh, well, let's have a look at this one after that quest and not expect some spoilers, I mean, that's really on them. I know there are certain limits and expectations to keep things spoiler-free, but I've made it clear on my own content on all channels. I've said here is spoilery. And at the same time, if someone's picking onto a random stream, yeah, come on. you can't expect to not get spoiled when you watch a live stream of the game. What, were you a week after the update is dropped now? Yeah, a week after, yeah. So I put it in the title, you're very right, I absolutely should have included that, but come on. That's a great way to get yourself spoiled anyway, by just dropping into streams. Alrighty, I can't help but notice no one's want to join on the sortie, fine. I'll just leave it with that, you know, we'll just go on the sortie. Actually, that surprises me. Fair enough, guys, if y'all feeling a bit tired this week, that's fine. We'll just go. People can't read, it's on them. Well, it wasn't there to read in the first place, but otherwise, yeah. Drifter got trip. Certainly a different look. I haven't focused too much on the fashion there, because fashion is just not my thing. I don't really focus on the fashion all that much, unless it's kind of in my face. I really don't focus on that much. I'm too busy looking at the practical side of stuff. Give me some guns. Where's my guns? Oh, I think I'm at max now. There we go. That'll do. So yeah, Zaku gameplay, where you just kind of, oh, no! Oh, that was stupid. I didn't realize there was a giant drop there. Lost everything I'd stacked up, but sure, whatever. It happens. Yeah, Zaku gameplay, you just kind of run around and the enemies die. Weird. Kinda weird. Which Drifter wasn't bugged with amp arcanes? Well, the best way to get it not bugged is to report those bugs to DE. Any bugs you come across, absolutely report them to DE. Give them a comprehensive report so that they can investigate and fix those bugs. Best way to handle it. Nothing in this game is going to be bug-free. Nothing in anything these days is going to be bug-free. Oh, hello. That was not what I expected to see. I'm on a radiation one. This is not going to do anything. That hurt a bit. You, get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. I'm going to die if you don't get up soon. Oh, no, I died. There we go. The gun's killed it. That works. How strong is a Juggernaut stolen gun? No change. The strength of the gun isn't based on the enemy it's stolen from, it's based on Zaku themselves. So no change at all there. Which way is our exit? Is it down this way? That way? This way? There we go. This tile set is a pain to navigate. And I just got magnetic procced out of the wazoo. That's fun. Any advice on farming mod Hive Voltage? Or High Voltage from Hive, I guess you mean. Is it from Hive? I think it's from Hive. And the advice there is just kind of to go through it. I can't remember the exact farming method you need, so I'll check that in a sec there. I'll check that in just a sec. Quite inconsistent the Grasp of Lock works on Infested. They don't really have guns to steal. I mean, inconsistent in that, oh, why is it able to work? Or how do you mean? Is it bugged? I didn't notice a bug though. From a game design perspective, it would kind of suck if you had a whole ability which just doesn't work because the weapons aren't separate from themselves. Creates copies of Zaku's guns? Yeah. That's a design feature. We're waiting. What the? What? I'm dropping squad after this one. I'm dropping squad after that.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Some rocks and planes vital and have no clipping. Again, if you come across bugs, guys, just report them to DE. You know? Just report them. You think just changing the model and some animations won't cause so many bugs? Well. Well. Yeah. Mag is a whole dang ability, it doesn't work on Infested. Which ability is that one? Pull works, Magnetize works. Oh, I suppose, yeah. There's no armor or shields to strip typically, although you can get armored infested, including in normal missions. There are some infested which come around and can cause armor for others. It's just they tend to die so quickly you don't notice. So Polarized does actually have a limited effect. It's just that the infested are glass cannons. You still get the shield restoration effect on allies though from it hitting them. Eldritch Spillage doesn't work? Yeah, that's part of the reason they added in the Augment they did, to allow it to work on the infested in a different way. Obviously, not every frame is going to have every answer to every situation against every possible target. I mean, that would be ridiculous. With this number of frames, we'd either have no real distinction between a good number of them, or some incredibly excessive time spent on making edge cases work. So, you know, there's options. Oh, I didn't know that about the Polarized Augment Rainover. That's something to notice. I don't expect it will come up all that much, but that is something, yeah. That is something. Alright, well, we've done the Zaku bit. What we're going to look at now is Sevagoth. I think Zon in. Yes, you can, Zon. Come on in, there you go. So the request from from Red Panda was Sevagoth with the Epitaph and with the Invigoration. Oh, I don't know, Dragon Kyushu. I don't know what they'll do on that side. Oh, there's a cyst on here. Be gone. Get it out of here. I didn't even notice it was hidden underneath the big old hoodie he's got draped over his shoulders. There we go. Alright then. So now let's do this Invigoration. 100% ability range and immunity to status effects. That is pretty spicy. That is pretty spicy right there. Invigorate Sevagoth? Absolutely. Why is there 2 helmet share? Bug. Yeah, that bug's been reported. That bug has absolutely been reported. Go figure. I've seen that report, so D will get around to it, I'm sure. Pimples can be hidden with drip. Yeah, there is that. Let's feed up this guy just to refresh what I just took out from him. Let's fill in you. Let's fill in nanospores and bile sacs. That'll do. And then bile, which incidentally, bile sacs are not bile. That bit always seems a little bit odd to me. It's like, come on. Come on, you cannot create a category called bile and then not put the bile sacs in bile. Come on. Anyway, let's fill in these with bits I've got. Then we got you, and we got you. There we are, perfect. Oh, wait. Wait. I meant to fill in another one and then just completely cancelled the whole thing. Whatever. Let's try it again. Ganglions. Detonite. What did I pick here? It was you and you. There we are, I'll do it there. And it was you. There we go. Nice and fed up. Ready to say mostly with the museless enemies, but all infested have range attacks if 8 are actively meleeing you. Oh. Fair enough. That is, again, something that slipped me. No, fair do. Alright, let's have a look at this. What's my range now? Range is 275%. Nice. Range 11 to 44 meters on this one. This one's a 44 meter range, so cool. Radius 22 meters. Ooh. Some bits and pieces to work with on this one. Imagine feeding sentient anomaly shelter helmet. Yeah. Now, does it also affect you? No. Invigorating Sevagoth does not affect his shadow. That actually seems kind of rough. That seems kind of rough, not gonna lie. I feel like we're being robbed with that one. Oh well. It is what it is. Let's go do this, guys. Let's go do this. We're gonna go sabotage on Earth.
Giving you too much credit. Must I always show you the way forward?
Yeah, there are various bugs all over the place, Space Cadet, that You're going to encounter them, and the only way to really get them sorted is just to report them to DE, and then cross your fingers that it's the priority. Naturally, the more devastating a bug, the more frequent it is encountered. I forgot to switch off the Rubico, but whatever. Things to that effect will affect how quickly it gets sorted. Well, we're charged up, so that's good.
A juggernaut nearby. It will only attack when it senses high concentrations of infested blood.
Just gonna casually mosey on through with this now fully ranged up Sevagoth slow zone. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. I hate how many times in a row she says biocatalyst. Yeah, it just gets on my nerves for some reason. I don't know what it is. Just keep saying biocatalyst, biocatalyst, biocatalyst. 3 voice lines in a row. It's a little thing. It's a tiny thing, and yet for some reason it still just irks me. Thank you, Jokey. Yeah, appreciate it.
We are going to destroy the injector by operating it at a dangerously high velocity.
Alright, so we'll just defend this area for a little bit. Me and my rapidly draining energy. No! And my energy's gone. Well, that sucks a bit. Is there a way to gauge which Warframe would be the best talk show host? What? What? What kind of a question is that? I genuinely am struggling to understand that. What? Like, literally a Warframe personality hosting a talk show? Hello, Liquidfire, here to support the stream by viewing. Wow, I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. If you choose to support the stream by following or anything else along that line as well, by all means, go ahead. He would be the sound designer for the talk show. I mean, fair. Fair.
You just destroyed a massive batch.
Alright, on our way out. Just gotta shadow it up for a bit, of course. Smack. Smack. I think I missed that smack or whatever. This is where that extra range would come in very nice, wouldn't it? Imagine if range affects the range of the claws. But alas. Alas. Isn't it Nora Knight's thing? I suppose, yeah, Nora Knight would be your talk show host, wouldn't she? Limbo with his cool hat. Nix would be the best talk show host. Tell me your secrets. Is she really a secret siphon that way? I don't know. Apparently Renov has gone blind. Okay. Alright, on to our third and final one, which Beard has already started up the prediction for, guys. So what reward do you think we're going to get from the mission here? Are we going to be grabbing ourselves an NASA Sculptural Endo, or literally anything else? You can gamble with as many or as few channel points as you want by hitting the blue spammer icon at the bottom of your chat window. And seriously, gamble some more. Go crazy, you know? Go absolutely crazy with it. What have you got to lose? Just make sure, is this on the one I wanted on? Yeah, that'll do. I know it's Prime Bane of a Grenier, but we're against the Infested, but who cares? It's the Infested. It's the Infested. We're taking Avara at the request of Space Cadet. So, let's see. We got Spy Mission, Radiation Hazard. Actually, before we... No, wait. Before we do that... Friends and invite only. Actually, just invite only, yeah. Because we don't want someone messing this up for us, do we now? We don't want someone messing it up. We can handle this ourselves. We can mess this up ourselves. Press down, say I want key points to see me suffer with Urali. I mean, you know what you can do with that? You can gamble on the correct side, and then you'll have even more points. You know? Nick's casting Chaos in a Jerry Springer type setup. Oh god. And cloaked. Now this is one of the reasons I put Hush onto my Nataruk. I know that the supposed meta is Vigilante supplies. That gives you effectively a plus 5% crit chance if you've got over 100% crit chance, which this bow has if you're doing it right. Plus 5% crit chance or complete silence when using it. I mean, well, this is pretty obvious for me. I like having that stealth capability. I like the stealth. May not be particularly meta. I like the stealth. Get out of that. There we are. Alright, let's do this correctly. What have we got in here? We have got just a laser grid. Now, I can't remember. Do I have Infiltrate equipped? I do. Good. I didn't think to check that. That could have been dangerous. How did you... It dodged my shot twice. That was pretty impressive. There we go. Beep, boop, pop, done. And easy peasy. Look at that. That's why we need new hacking. That was easy. Straight through. Zom is down. Zom? How are you down? I know there's radiation, but there's no one here to kill you. It's just infested, and you're Vara. Yeah, that'll be fine. It's time. Nataruk is amazing. Oh yeah, it is a wonderful weapon. It may not be the perfect room clearer, but it does a damn good job of it. Zom's cat ate him. Could be, could be. C Vault is over here. Zom is on C, so do we let them handle it? My waypoint seems to be confused as to where it is. Yeah, my waypoint's broken, so Zom, you have fun with that. My waypoint has absolutely no idea where I'd need to go for that one. I was saying, Ken, you define the most effective tools available, aka the meta. Oh, is that what it stands for? Right, I get ya. I get ya. Is this where I can drop down? Oh, it is. Okay. Is this the path to sea? Is this the path to sea? Oh god, I'm dying. Ah, they were attacking each other. I took the attacks by accident. I'm pretty sure it's not what it actually stands for, Beard. No. It's coincidental. Zomgar got C successfully, so we can head our way out of here. Arcane Consequence on Ivara, by the way, is absolutely amazing. Not miss out on using that. The extra roll speed does so much good for her. And let's see, what do we get? What do we get? What do we get? We got 6,000 Kuva today. 6,000 Kuva. So to those of you who guessed anything else, you are absolutely correct on the reward. 6,000 Kuva it is. Bam. There we go. Oh, so I'm taking out 2 of those vaults. Rigged? What could I possibly rig about that, Depressed Dad? What could I possibly rig about that? But there we go. Yeah, the Nataruk natively isn't actually silent. If I take that off, bam. It's alarming. Only by putting that onto there does it actually become silent. Which is kind of surprising, in a way. Even the quick shot isn't silent. So the whole bow is loud. Which kind of really surprised me, not gonna lie. I didn't think it needed that kind of a nerf or issue compared to the other options out there, but I mean, sure, why not? And so we got Hush in here. Now this build, I'm not fully set on this. The radiation was for testing earlier, actually. Wrong mod! Damn it! I misclicked. Come back. I want you. So Vital and Viral. Now, between the radiation build and the viral build, I noticed precious little difference, I should say, when I was doing a survival on Draco on Steel Path. Both of them had very, very similar results, so I need to do more testing in that regard there. We can look on into it. Kiddo can stealth now because Soroko is silent. I thought all lamps were silent, weren't they? Was it only some of them? They all were. Does it matter they die too quick to raise alarm? It matters if you want to get the stealth affinity bonus, because that can make a heck of a lot of difference, really. It can make quite a bit of a difference. The lens is alarming too, just noticed. Yeah, I mean, it's explosives, that would make sense. And you say, oh, Googled, the Urban Dictionary actually says most effective tactic available. I mean, it's Urban Dictionary, you know, backronyms are going to be on there. Some people, Tumblr especially, love their backronyms. Doesn't mean it's actually true. Doesn't mean it's true at all. No. Things that literally get one shot don't get much from viral. So not quite, because if they get one shot without the viral procs, then yeah, sure, why not? But if they don't get one shot by the very first arrow, and that procs viral, then all the others in your multi-shots can help out, potentially. All the others can help out. It depends on exactly how it's handled, but being a projectile, there is a delay in hits, so the viral procs can help out in that regard. But as I say, more testing is needed, and that's part of what we can do today. Is have a look at testing. For example, Primed Shred I've been putting onto the bow here, despite the fact that it has complete innate body punch through, it has no innate punch through of its own. This is all from the mod. Innate punch through, that allows it to actually, the modded punch through, that allows it to go through terrain. And that means then you can go for shots which are from behind cover, shots which are less perfectly aimed. You can clip through little bits here and there, any kind of windows are in the way, and you can get more damage done in that regard. It's not huge, but given that it's also got the fire rate on there, a lot of people are looking at, for example, speed trigger in its place, 5% lower fire rate, 2.2 punch through. That seems like a decent trade to me. I know it's a harder to get mod, and is a very expensive mod to fit. What's a couple former, really? Pretty confident meta short for metagame? Yeah. Meta comes from metagame, meaning outside of the game. So, not the actual built-in game mechanic considerations. Metagame, in this context, is the talk of discussions outside and around it for finding the things which are the most effective. Meta is Greek in origin. I mean, the actual use of meta can be Greek in origin, but where it gets used in common parlance comes from metagame. At least with regards to games themselves, it's referring to the metagame. No fire rate for the Natsuroke because half an hour draw go burr. Come on, 10-2. No one needs that. You see, look at the difference in fire rate here. We go from charge rate 0.56 to 0.59, switching down to Prime Shred. I mean, 300ths of a second? 30 milliseconds? Most people have more ping than that. So, you know, I'm quite fine having the punch through. I feel like that just works out that much better for it. Actually, if you don't have Prime Shred, Standard Shred is a lot weaker. So it's got nearly half the punch through, nearly half the fire rate. So that makes one hell of a difference. I can go either which way on that side. I missed your last highlight message. I mean, was it a big spam long one? Yes, it was. Okay, by the way, when you perform the ledge lift animation, not sure exactly what you mean with that one. Is it ledge grab? If you time a jump correctly, you jump double the height of a normal jump. You have to jump within 0.1 seconds when the animation begins. Your Warframe climbing the ledge. Okay. Bit odd. Very niche. Not sure who it matters to, because that is exceedingly niche, but okay. There do. That's very niche, my dude. Because you're already going up anyway. You're a patient man, you can wait to nuke, says Tento, with the whole lack of fire rate. I mean, or you could just, you know, shoot more. Like, just shoot more, you know? You're fine. One shot from this is already clearing pretty much everything. That second shot allows you to reposition the shot. So you can potentially work in even larger groups of enemies. You can get it day 200? Yep, that's right, Zom. 200, 400, 600, 800 if you leave it to that long. Do 7 off arbitration bonuses apply to the shadow as well? Don't think they do, Red Panda. I base that on the very simple fact that if we have a look here at 7 off at the moment, I've got an infusion on them and it's not applying to the shadow. All the stats are just unaffected despite the bonus to ability range. So I would say likely no. But again, testing required. If you get the opportunity to test it, test it. I would say likely no. Just based on how the invigoration is being handled. 100 munitions is 30% chance, why not straight damage? So, that's a very good question. Let me bring up how this works here for you. So, 30% chance to apply slash on critical. What we're looking for there is the slash proc and its effectiveness against armor. That's where Hunter Munitions becomes absolutely amazing. I think this is time for us to bring out a notepad, guys. Because this is mathy. Let's do the math properly. Let me grab the notepad, which is there. Alright, so let's go over this. I'm just going to make the font a little bit bigger so you guys can properly see that even if you're on mobile. Slash procs! Anyway, so with Hunter Munitions, proc slash 30% of the time on crit, which is always for this bow. Okie dokie. It's just always. If you've got it modded correctly, and I have here the charge shot, the perfect shot, they are always going to have a crit available. The quick shot you don't care about. I mean, if you've got Arcane Avenger, it's going to be 100%, 105% crit anyway. My crit's only 60. If you're doing a quick shot, you're using the bow wrong, 12 bar jam. If you're doing a quick shot, you're using this bow wrong. I've tested for opportunities to try and make better on that. Charge and perfect shots are just better. So 150, 180%. Have a look at how that actually interacts here for you. Now, the way that a slash proc works, those of you who may not remember exactly how the map breaks down on it, it is your modded damage multiplied by 0.35 per second. So every second. Okie dokie. It also includes faction mods, faction bonus. But here's the thing, modded damage, that bit itself, I'm going to make this a bit wider just so it's a bit clearer. Modded damage itself is equal to your base damage multiplied by pure damage modifiers multiplied by your faction modifiers and then multiplied by your crit modifier where applicable. Okay? Eva saying, is that right? Because slash ticks seem to hit harder than slash procs. Slash ticks and slash procs are the same thing, Evie. Do you mean slash hits or slash damage seems to be weaker than slash procs? I'm gonna have to double check your words there so I can actually answer that for you. You're actually comparing the same thing there. Ticks are damage per second, i.e. per tick. But this is absolutely the correct way it works out. 100%. I've gone over this at length in the how damage is calculated video, showing that 165% isn't 165%. So, looking at this, if you break it all down, you've got your base damage, so what comes with a weapon straight away, multiplied by your pure damage mods, so that is a thing. Like, for example, Primary Merciless, that is pure damage. You got Serration, that is pure damage. Heavy Caliber is pure damage. Galvanized Shot, the bonus from that, once you've got it stacked up, that is pure damage. That all goes into that. Faction modifiers, that's going to be either things like your Prime Bane of Grenier, or it can also be from Raw, from Rhino. That will also be a source of faction modifier. And then crit modifier, I think that should be pretty obvious to you guys. You know, that's your crit stats. Your crit stats. You thought it was howling in the audio? It's actually just an owl outside? I mean, yeah. You gotta watch out. The real world does still exist when you watch these streams. He was saying, so if I hit someone and slash procs, might proc for like 6k, but then 1 second later it'll tick for 100k. So you see, Eevee, it's not proccing for 6k. You deal 6k damage and get a slash proc, and then the slash damage comes through. And I'm getting to exactly why that works, okay? I'm getting to that. Don't jump the gun on this, Evie. If you're not sure what's going on, I'll explain it as we go through. So this is how your slash proc is worked out. The modded damage itself is multiplied by 0.35. It goes down from what your base damage is, and then it's also multiplied by your faction bonus. This faction bonus, by the way, your faction modifier, it appears twice in the calculation. Cybertech, sure. There we are. We're just talking about the proc kit. Evie, wait. Seriously, you are getting confused. Wait. You're going to do so much better in life if you wait for the answer before asking questions about what you don't understand about the answer. Definitely wait. So with regards to this then, you see the faction bonuses applying twice. That's why with a lot of builds that work on slash procs, these Bane mods are seriously recommended. Because that 55% bonus is happening here and here. It's actually 140% bonus. I think is it 140%? Let me just grab my calculator. 1.55 squared. Yeah, 140.25% bonus, which is huge. That is a huge multiplier. You're doing over double damage, nearly 2.5 times damage as a result of that on the slash procs. What about hemorrhage and internal bleeding? We'll get to that, Space Cadet. We can get to that, because they proc slash procs, so they're just procking slash procs. We'll get to it. All slash procs follow this rule. All slash procs. Not some, not a couple of them, all of them. Absolutely every single slash proc you ever see will follow these rules. Now, as part of this, elemental damage is not included. That is elemental damage mods. You see Rhyme Rounds here and Malignant Force, they're both giving elemental damage. They don't count. They literally do not matter when it comes to how much damage your slash proc will do. If you have a 4-slash weapon and you put pure elemental stuff onto it, your 4-slash proc will do no extra damage whatsoever. So if you are wanting to get more out of slash, elemental mods don't help you. Even the slash elemental mod, the plus slash percentage, does nothing to actually improve the damage of your slash proc. Doesn't do a thing. The slash hit, yeah. The slash proc, no. So, then you get on to how it actually affects the enemy. Now, slash procs deal true damage. It is the only status proc in the game which deals damage different to the type that inflicted it. This used to also be the case for gas procs. Back in the day, they used to deal toxin damage instead of gas damage. Now gas procs actually do gas damage, but slash procs deal true damage. And this is important because it skips all armor. All of it. It doesn't skip shields anymore, but it skips all armor entirely. So if you deal hit, say you hit for 3,000 damage, words, damage against an armored enemy. How much armor? Doesn't matter. You've seen a hit of 3,000 damage. If half of that damage was elemental, then you got half of it doesn't apply to this whole equation. The rest of it was in this modded damage with all applicable bonuses added onto it, and then had some amount taken off by armor. You might see a hit of 3,000, okay? In fact, let me grab an actual armor figure to get us there. To give you an actual armor figure, let's say you hit that against an enemy with 5,000 armor. And if that sounds ridiculous, that's what Elite Lancers are going to have on the Steel Path, around 5,000 plus. So, yeah, 5,000 armor. That's actually going to be, let me see here, 5,000 divided by 500 is a 94.34% damage reduction, okay? So there's not much point in armor stripping when the main source of damage coming from slash procs. 100% correct, David. Well done, yes. You're very right there. If you are using slash procs for your damage, armor stripping is a waste of time. Pointless. I covered that one in Viral versus Corrosive. It has Viral killed Corrosive because Viral benefits slash, Corrosive doesn't. And this is exactly why. Slash procs skip armor. So what do Corrosive procs do for slash? Nothing. The 5,000 armor. Say you've done the 3,000 damage against someone with 5,000 armor, okay? I'm not counting in elemental buffs up and down, weaknesses here. We'll get past that for now. This is showing you how you can see where your slash procs are coming in. Oh, don't worry, Selen. The main takeaway from this is how slash procs works out. I'll get you there. I'm showing you my full working out so you understand how this all comes together. So if you did that 3,000 damage hit against someone with 5,000 armor, the actual damage you landed against them is basically reduced by 94.34%. I'm not an IRL engineer, no. Not at all. I'm just a guy who knows a little bit about maths and applies it to a video game for some reason. So the damage you dealt before armor was, let me just backtrack this one here. Oh, that's a nice easy answer. 53,000. That's a really convenient number. I don't know how that happened. It's exactly 53,000. Did I type that incorrectly? I don't think I did. No, I did. Okay, that... Yeah, that was a quirk of mathematics there. That's funny. Alright, yeah. So the damage you dealt before armor was 53,000 in this case. You see that armor took off 50,000 damage. Now we're saying half was elemental, so the half that is modded was, what's that? I don't want to do the math in my head. 26,500. I have a calculator right here in front of me handling all of this. Makes it a lot easier just having this lying around. So now let's take this modded damage through our slash proc equation. Because the other half was elemental, we know that doesn't count. The 26,500. I'm sorry, if you do exclamation mark raffle, you'll see the answer there. 26,500, that's our modded damage. Multiply that by 0.35. We're ignoring faction bonus for a moment here. That gives us 9,275. Oh, no, that raffle is wrong. We're not doing 2. That was last stream. Let me update that. I'm very sorry, that is incorrect. We got 1. Today's raffle is giving away 75 platinum to 1 lucky winner on any platform. There we go. Yeah. Whoops, that's updated now. It's 1 plaid draw this week. Or this stream. Alright, cool. So, you see what we got here then. We dealt 3,000 damage, half of which was elemental, but the actual slash procs are now going to be hitting for 9,275 damage every single second. The higher this armor value is, the higher this discrepancy is going to be. The higher your elemental damage, the lower that discrepancy is going to be. So this is why slash procs deal more against highly armored units than the original hit. That's pure and simple how it works. Now, if you've got a lot of initial damage, if your main hit is really, really strong, you might still find that it's easier to deal damage with corrosive or radiation to beat the armor down directly. There are different ways of handling it. But if you find that the armor is just too much to overcome and you don't want to go the armor stripping method, then this absolutely allows you to bypass that. Is it 9275 true damage? Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely, that is 9,275 true damage in this case here. So I can give you guys a demonstration of this down in the simulacrum. Which level does it become more beneficial to rely on slash procs over upfront damage? I would say it becomes more beneficial to rely on slash procs on... Let me think. On arbitrations, maybe? Kind of. You don't really need it. Because of how many buffs we've got to weapons these days, you don't really need it on arbitrations for the majority of cases. So long as you're using a properly modded weapon for damage. But once you're onto the steel path, almost certainly this will deal more unless you have a seriously good weapon. If you have a seriously good weapon, then you can skip around it. The good thing with slash procs is that once you put this onto an enemy, you look at this, this is damage per second. Remember, that is damage per second. So if you hit the enemy with 3,000 damage, and it causes this slash proc here, over 6 seconds, That's 55,650 true damage. Oops. So you hit them for 3,000, and then you walk away. You go start shooting someone else because you know over the course of 6 seconds they're going to be taking nearly 20 times more damage. And this is just a 5,000 armored enemy. It gets absolutely insane. On a frame with reliable armor strip, elementally preferred. I mean, if you're using armor strip, you can absolutely go for the right elements, yeah. And if you are stripping the armor entirely, you can focus your element onto what works against their health type, because you no longer need to care about the armor bonus at all. So let's demonstrate this in action for you guys. Let me demonstrate this in action. What I can do is, if I just grab this, hunt munitions, critical delay, oops. And then Prime Bane of Grenier. Let me go demonstrate this for you guys real quickly. You feel like you're in college Zoom lecture? Hey, I am the solver of practical problems here, teacher of things Warframe. Of course I'm going to teach you guys. And it turns out colleges have kind of the right idea when it comes to teaching, don't they? Oh, I didn't realise. Sorry, Zom, I didn't realise you were still in the squad. My bad. Very sorry about that there, Zom. So, yeah, let's just pop ourselves into here real quickly. Sorry, Zom, because I'm going to do this quickly, I'm just going to do that. Sorry, Zom, don't really need you around at the moment, so let's just do this as quick as possible. I'm going to take off my Sentinel's weapon so it doesn't ruin the test here. For some reason it's only 19 gunners, but sure, why not? These are 19 level 180 heavy gunners. Pretty damn tanky, yeah? I've got no multi-shot on this. No crazy bonuses. You see 261, 1688. You see that there? 261 original damage, 1688 slash proc per second. And this is with just the most basic mods for demonstration purposes. I'm overdrawing it just to make it easy to demonstrate. You can see how much of a difference that is making. I did 404 and then 2.5k per second with a proc. Also, let's multi-kill because screw this one. That is the power of the slash proc right there. Each tick of damage was something like 6 times stronger than the initial hit. And on top of that then, it's doing it 6 times over. Because it's 6 different hits over the course of 6 seconds. You can see how much damage that is doing to their health bar right here. Not aiming at the head triggers you? Oh, that triggers you. Okay. Let's see. If we aim at the body here, 261 damage. Aim at the head, 261. Ah. Oh, now that is weird to press stat, isn't it? You see, in testing, people have discovered the quick arrow, 66 versus 131. The quick arrow has a headshot multiplier, standard one. If I do this over here, you'll see the crit is very strong in comparison. But the perfect shot, exactly the same damage. The full charge shot, please give me the same crit again. Oh, come on, don't be a dick like that. There we are, exactly the same damage. So the Natruk only has a headshot multiplier on the quick shots, not on any others. Now, interestingly, it also means there is something else you can benefit from with the quick shot. You look at what's happening here with this. Hello, sir. Can I help you? That was weird. Yeah. So if you notice this here, every single hit with a quick arrow has an impact proc. Every single one has an impact proc. You get a guaranteed impact proc on the Nataruk on a quick shot, but it does not apply to the other shots. Now that leads to the theory that potentially you'd think, well, hang on, we can use internal bleeding here, right? We could go for internal bleeding to go get ourselves some slash procs on all of those. No headshot is intentional, Asalan. It's intentional, as far as I'm aware. You notice now we're actually able to get very consistent slash procs. Look at that. Okay, this one's being a dick. There we go. The only problem is that the fire rate on the Nataruk seems to make it where it's not that consistent in the grand scheme of things. Because you have to actually hit, you don't get the hitbox to go with it, and if you get any kind of attack speed buff whatsoever, the game starts to go, well, no, I don't want to give you that. So you'll notice that overall, it doesn't really work in your favour there. Shit damage? Hey, come on, this is not properly modded. If we kill these enemies and resimulate, let's get a whole fresh new batch, shall we? Oh, not Sebagoth. No, Sebagoth, you just kind of exist. Go away. Let's come back to this one real quickly. Can I put you in? Yes, I can. Cool. So, internal bleeding here. This is on the fully modded setup with viral. Let's see what happens, shall we? Well, that's a slash proc to talk about. And this is before I've got any of the buffs active. Now let's get some buffs going. And let's see how quickly this slash proc starts to matter. One hiding it back there. Now you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. You're gonna survive, so let's do that again. Now you'll probably die. Yep, you're dead. You're dead. 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 Yep, that one's dead. That one's dead. This is the power of slash procs. This is the power of slash procs. You tap them, and then you can start ignoring them. What about perfect shot? So that's where perfect shot benefits much more from using, where has it gone? Hunter munitions. The reason being on that is this applies on critical. It doesn't rely on the impact procs, and the impact procs are very uncommon when you are using the perfect shot because it doesn't have the force one. So let's see that now again. And you know what? At this time, I'm going to use that full punch through we got. You're all dead. You're all dead. You're all dead. Did I miss you? I missed you. There we are. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead. Did you die? There you are. You know what? Whilst we got these procs all stacked up, let's get some more in, shall we? Well, they're all dead. Yeah, they're dead. They're dead. Oh, that one survived. A couple of them aren't getting the slash procs because it is only 30%, so we just hit them a little bit more. Yeah. The Exo Captain? Oh, yeah, let's bring them up if I can. Let's bring them up if I can. Exo... Dockside Officer... Yeah, they seem to be about the best here. 1,000 base armor. Like, yikes. Let's see how hard this one hits. I've lost a few of my procs here, but let's try this again. I had a standard arrow in the middle of that one, but it's fine. Kill you. So here we see just how powerful those slash procs can be. Hey, Evo. Yeah, Space Cadet, if you put a dot between two words, it assumes it's going to be a link. How about the Drekar Manic Bombard? Let's see if I have that one. Drekar Manic Bombard. Oh, he's got much lower armor. Much lower. But it's alloy, so it's a different type. You hope there's not going to be a test? Oh no, there's not a test. The test, Aslan, is if you can actually use this to be good at the game. If you're good at the game, you pass the test. You see, you can just kind of spam your shots down the line. It's all good. And these guys, they have a lot more base health, so they survive this. 183,000 per tick. But yeah, they survive a lot longer because they have a lot more base health. Slash struggles more against more health, but Armor, it just laughs at it. Armor, it just laughs. And if I'd say I love the videos, I'm glad you enjoy them, my dude. Thank you. Now, of course, not every enemy is weak to Slash. You know? Not every enemy is going to be crying about it. You get some of the strong Corpus ones, and it's not going to be anywhere near as good. Oh wait, yes it is. They all suck. They don't die as quickly, granted. You have to put a second arrow into them sometimes, and then they're all dead. Because the Corpus, who cares? The Infested are even sillier. They just kind of die. Except for you, for some reason. There we go. You see, Slash procs, they kind of work all around. Go for Toxin? Sure! Let's bring out some Toxin. Let's see if that's any faster, shall we? Let's bring out some Toxin. So, rain rounds, off you come. Let's get the Infected Clip in here. That's a full Toxin bow. Yep, there we are. Let's see how much faster that is then, sure. You'll probably find that the base damage here is going to be absolutely legendary. And we do need to rebuild those stacks as well, so I'm going to do this twice over. Although you can already see, yeah, that's kind of getting damage done, isn't it? You don't need to use separate elements for every faction. One build works for everything, says Reddit idiots who don't know anything that they're talking about. Clap. 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 Am I getting the point across? Am I getting the point across? Shield seem more effective against procs. The shields create a shield gating against the procs. That's what they're doing. More than anything. That's the biggest part of the shields. Don't forget that the shield and health bars you see on enemies, they're not actually accurate as to how much shield and health they have. Do pure corrosive galvanized scope if I haven't already. I mean, I could do just corrosive and see what happens there. Let's grab that. Electric. Now, if we're going to go that route, yeah, let's get the galvanized scope, like suggested. I have to aim for headshots, which is annoying, but sure. Corrosive, no bonus slash against the... Just go back to the heavy gunners. Heavy gunners are fine enough. Let's go for this. So, we're going to have to build up the bow once again to get those stacks. It will be bad at first. And then we start to get the stacks cracking. No, you can't do high-level content without slash procs. No, you can't do endless missions without slash procs or armor strip. Like truly endless endurance runs. This level, yeah, I think you're fine. Yeah, I think you're fine. Why no aptitude? Because they die quick enough normally. They die quick enough. Because to get aptitude onto here, you have to take something else out in the process. And where would you put in aptitude? Want can move basic crit for bladed rounds, more consistent damage. When you say basic crit, would you mean critical delay? So we'll have the 320% crit chance here, but no 200% from that one. I mean, that sounds like a bad idea. It's still going to be effective, don't get me wrong. It just sounds like a bad idea. Because bladed rounds, we're getting the same bonus again. We're getting the same bonus again there, but we're losing a lot of crit chance in the process. I'm still not a fan of the whole aiming mods, because I prefer to just kind of sprint around, not going to lie. Our crits do not scale very well at first. Once we get bladed rounds to kick in, then things could be better. And yeah, we get to about the same kind of level. But we have to get the crits to get it there in the first place, so it's a much slower start. It's a much slower start. Jackass Sayer can't find a single melee with higher bleed DPS than Cronin, in part because of how fast it stacks bleed. Is there any melee out there that actually does better? There's not a lot that's going to compete with the Cronin Prime when it comes to the slash. Part of that is because this Cronin Prime, with its stances, it also puts out additional slash on top of it just being a slash monster. But Glaive Prime, yeah, that's a good suggestion. Glaive Prime, if the enemy survives Glaive Prime, is then just going to explode with slash procs. That thing is a monster for slash. But if you're not looking for a melee weapon that actually is a ranged weapon, if you look at just the melees, you'll struggle to find something much stronger, yeah. You'll struggle in that regard. With the Nasrug, you can absolutely go for the pure damage build on that approach here. There is a very big weakness with this, though. There's a very big weakness. So if we do the Heavy Gunner here, let's grab 5 of you, 5 of you. Well, actually, not. No. 5 of you, 5 of you. And then we go Bombard. We grab 5 of you and 5 of you. There we go. They're all the same faction. Okay. We saw how good it was with just one armor type. Now let's see what happens when there's 2. We start by getting our work done. We build up our crits. There we go. You see, with these guys, they're still kind of dying, to be honest, because this bow is very, very strong. But on the Bombards, we are seeing instances of needing additional shots. Now, this bow is just absurdly strong, honestly. I don't think I have strong enough enemies to properly demonstrate this. They don't exist. This bow is just insane. Let's see. Ferrite, 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 Ferrite. For some reason, these are all Ferrite, including the Elite Lancer. What is up with that? Why are they all Ferrite? Yeah. That's interesting. Alright. Might have to go to the Corpus for this one. Scan, please. Give me a guy who has a heck of a lot of alloy armor. It's going to be... It's got all those shields in the way. I suppose we can. Take off you and you. He's only 200. I can't search by armor type. That's annoying. Sentients? No, they usually have ferrite. I can't spawn in the alloyed ones here. Versa, Osprey. Come on, 200 base, that's not a lot. 200 base, not a lot. Oh, there's got to be something in here that's a lot more than the others. You, 250 base. I thought they were a lot stronger than this. I swore they were a lot stronger than that. Never mind then. Okay, yeah. Turns out when it comes to alloy armor, we can't actually get a lot. Do the Corrupted Bombards have a lot more? 500? We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it. Bring in the Eximus as well, why not? Now obviously the whole being an Eximus is doing a lot to protect them here. Oh, that's slow. That slow is nasty. But you can see that corrosive isn't exactly doing wonders. We'll come back to that in a second. Not proc bonus, Zom. Damage bonus. Proc and damage are two different things. Proc and damage are two different things. So now if I switch this over to radiation, again, demonstration purposes only. For the moment, not a recommended build right now. Let's re-simulate all of these guys. Now I've got no stacks at the moment, so let's build some stacks on the weaker heavy gunners, which is, again, going to take longer now. Because they are weak to corrosive, not radiation. There we go. Now if we go for these guys, you see we're actually getting much faster results. Look at that difference. In fact, did I just one-shot one of them? Yeah. Whilst the heavy gunners, the non-Xmas heavy gunners, are now actually taking multiple shots in a couple cases. So in that regards, if you go for a pure damage setup, you need to be very careful about what you're actually fighting and what's going to be your priority. What you can find is that going the pure crit side of things can lead to some difficulties, especially if not fully modded things up to this extent here. You know, I've gone for the Prime Bane of Grenier, I've gone for the Primary Merciless, I've gone absolutely all out on the Galvanized mods. If you're at this level, yeah, you're just going to handle everything. You're just going to handle everything. So if we take this back out, go back onto the Hunter Munitions, and if we take out you then to get ourselves our critical delay back, this is just the radiation setup. Slash is better for everything. Slash procs will bypass armor, but you need to be able to proc slash consistently and powerfully for that to matter. Oh yeah, this bow can handle basically everything, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a good takeaway. This bow is disgustingly good. So now we've got radiation slash. I spawned in some bombards which were non-Xmas. Yes, there we go. Let's start with you, just because you're weak to my radiation. Get things going. I'm going to fire through this heavy gunner to get the kills with slash as well. Now let's start really stacking this up a bit. Again, I'm having to rebuild stacks so it doesn't feel as good. In a normal mission, you have lots of basic mobs to kind of take this to. You see, the combination of damage types helps you cut through these enemies that little bit faster, because you can turn your attention to the next one and the previous one dies. Bane works better with crit and base damage. Bane works better with procs more than anything else because of the double dipping of damaging procs. You'll deal 55% bonus damage on its own here, which is still a huge increase. But on top of that, status procs which deal damage. So you took in heat, toxin, slash, gas, and electric. They double dip on this. So the actual damaging procs do 55% more on top of the original damage bonus. Do I actually use Weeping Wounds in my Cronin? I believe I do use Weeping Wounds in my Cronin these days. Let me check. I think I do. Might not have, but I think I do. Yes, I do. Yeah. I've got Weeping Wounds in my Cronin these days. Can you join my clan? Kingsty, if you're more of a regular around here, you can look to join in. If it's the first time you're here, and this is your first time you're here, I can see that on Twitch here, I wouldn't extend a clan invite at this stage, but if you want to make yourself a regular, sure. Alright, where were we on the Natarok here? So, that's where we got to with the radiation example. Now let's switch this back over to the viral. Rhyme rounds, Malignant Force, just bring up that status chance as well whilst we're here on this. Remember, Prime Bane of Grenier, that's not having an effect against the bombards, by the way. So that is actually slightly failing us in that regard. So if I take out the corrupted ones, we wanted them for the armor. If we go for the normal bombards... Actually, is their armor the same? Oh, the armor's the same. Wow, that's embarrassing. Let's see how this feels now. So now we got the viral, which is seriously benefiting those slash procs. Very good when you're still getting started on your kills. As you can see now, it's having a lot more successful approach to it all. That one did not get a slash procs. We tap you again. I'm just going to do a quick tap, because they're already weak enough. And yeah, once you got to that slash viral setup, which is the meta for Grenier fights for a very, very good reason, we are absolutely carving through them. We are absolutely carving through them. And just a quick reminder on how much we're dealing with here. If you have a look at this, it says alloy armor 500, but that is at its base level. Okay? We still at this set where I can show you the screen? Yep, good. what we're going to do to demonstrate just why this is so effective, we're going to head on over to the Bombards page on Warframe. Wiki. Bombard Warframe Wiki. There we go. Hello, you. So, base level 4. So that's where it has its base 500 armor. We're up at level 180 here. So you can see the actual armor at this stage is 10,000. 10,000! Let me expand that a little bit for you guys. You can really see this. 10,000! In your standard kind of Steel Path mission, you're probably at like level 125 you're fighting them. They get double armor for being in Steel Path, so its base at this stage is going to be what? 10,800-ish. So you're actually up against over 15,000 armor. Which is absolutely insane. Even for something like an Elite Lancer, and this is a very important unit to check yourself against. Very important. These guys are all over every single Grenadier mission, aren't they? They are all over the place. From base level 15 upwards, these ones will spawn in. They're like 80% of all Grenadier units you'll encounter in a standard mission. Probably around 80%. They start with 200 alloy armor. Alloy is important because they are weak to radiation, not corrosive. So if you are in a mission where you are focusing on your damage type between corrosive and radiation, radiation can actually be very beneficial for dealing with these alloy armored units. Then if we take this all the way up to, let's see, kind of typical range, roughly 125 or so. The armor is at 2,917 basic for this. Steel Path, that's going to make it over 5,000. Nearly 6,000 even. Here you go, just a little bit higher. There. Level 130 Steel Path. These basic guys will have 6,000 armor. And that's where having those slash procs with viral bonus goes absolutely insane for you. Because you are bypassing that 90.93... Oh, higher than 90.93 damage reduction. That's the 3,000. With 6,000... how do we fake this just to get it there? Yeah. 6,000 armor is roughly equivalent to a level 320. That's how much stronger they are. That's 95% damage reduction. So your slash procs are 20 times stronger than they should be because they skip the armor. Despite you're only fighting a like level 130 enemy. It's insane. The difference that makes, especially because of the double armor on Steel Path. Absolutely insane. Is the Arsenic Bow better with or without the Augment? With the Augment, you get yourself a single explosive shot, don't you? And that one you can cause all kinds of mayhem with, so usually I'd say that one's probably better. Who's reading the wiki? We all are. I mean, yeah. You should be reading the wiki. You should be referring to the wiki if you want to get better at this game. If you try to play this game without ever looking at the wiki, you will struggle in so many ways. It's insane. Hello, Pochulo. How are you doing today? So this is why, when I talk about the impact of radiation, corrosive, and viral, and combining that with things like slash procs, this is where it really matters. I'm doing alright, thank you, Pochulo. I hope you're doing well yourself as well. How much does base slash affect these builds? If you are using hunt munitions, none. So have a look at this here. If we go... Let me grab a different weapon. I don't want to break that build any further. Let's grab some crappy weapon no one really cares about. Oh, hey, Bratton. None of you should be here. Just marmalize this and go back into it. So, you look at Bratton here. It's got Impact Puncture Slash. Base damage, 24. That base damage is what's being used for the slash proc calculation. I think I still have that open over here. Yep. Do you remember from earlier, guys? Is that still coming up on the screen? Yes, it is. Good. Remember that from earlier? It is your base damage, which goes into modded damage, and modded damage is used for the slash proc. So this impact, puncture, and slash all together is being used to calculate your slash proc damage. If I add on Hellfire, that's going to make no difference to the slash proc damage. Same with cryo rounds. In fact, I can demonstrate that. Because why not? Let's do some demonstration. Let's just kill these guys. Let's resummon them a little bit lower level. Just so I can actually do more than one damage with this basic Bratton. So just a quick reminder, we're currently on No mods, pure base damage. Let's see if we can get a slash proc and see how much that's going to do. Spoilers, not a lot. Let's see here. Slash of 9 per tick, okay? Remember that. Slash proc 9 per tick on normal bombard. Normal bombard, 9 per tick. If we go then add on our cryo rounds. If we add on, let's see here. If we add on, where are you? Prime rounds, there it is. So we've got here 150% bonus from cold. Actually, wait, what am I doing? I've got this one. There we are. So we've got a 225% bonus. Look at how much more damage we've got per shot now. All of that extra cold, all of that from Elemental Edition. And how much is our slash proc now? Whenever it wants to happen. Whenever it wants to happen, that'd be great. God, the status chance on this is terrible. How did we get one so soon last time? Any second now. Oh, the Bratton is terrible. I'm gonna run out of ammo, aren't I? Come on. Come on. Come on. Please don't let me kill you before I get this slash proc. That would be very embarrassing. Jesus Christ. Come on. Right, I'm putting on some status mods. Screw this. That's not happening. Let's get some status mods on here. You. Maybe. You. You. There, this will have to do for demonstration purposes. We're up 90% on the damage here. There it is. Right, we got a slash proc, and again, 9 damage. Just all of that just to prove that I was actually telling you the truth. Jesus Christ, game. Jesus Christ. But, yes. Point in case that adding on the cold damage, and for that matter, adding on the status chance, didn't improve how big the slash proc was. Even adding on a percentage slash like this would not improve the slash damage per tick from the proc. However, adding on slash like this does improve your slash percentage, so your damage distribution, and as a result, you'll have a slash proc happen more often. That's what it does. Yeah, Nataruk is just better at this, isn't it? Let's just remind these guys who they're playing with. Oh, I didn't need the second shot. Oh yeah, the level 50. That's what happened there. And this is why modding doesn't really matter too finicky on normal star charts. Once you've got stuff that can handle Seal Path, you just kind of glance in their direction and accidentally just kill them, you know? You just kind of, oh, whoops, oh, sorry, did I forget to charge that shot? Oh, what an insult, I'm sorry. So once you actually, you know, learn how to mod your weapons, the star chart's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke at that point. You have to actively try to screw up at that point. Because they just die. They fall over. They're all wet paper. All of them. And if you're still unsure as to how you could just, you know, get more damage out of your kit, well, on my YouTube channel there is the top 10 tips for more damage video, so you can check that out to improve your capabilities in that regard. I think, guys, that has really been a long roundabout way of going over how these slash procs works and actual demonstrations to how it all comes together. Basically meaning that slash procs really do matter once you're up against the steel path. And of course, once you got viral procs to go with that, it goes absolutely insane. So how does bleed work? Can you raise bleed amount? 12 bar jam. When you say bleed, what do you mean by bleed? And I'm being very specific here to make sure I'm answering the correct question. So what do you mean by bleed? You love the fact I have such a notepad? I mean, yeah, I'm just going to have that available. It's a great way of writing down stuff for you to see so quickly. Is Bubonico good? Bubonico is good, yes. Like, just yes. There's a reason the ribbons on it go quite pricey. Is there anything anyone would like me to clarify on any of this side stuff? Anything about the slash procs, the Nataruk, how the relationship between corrosive radiation works on the Grineer? Anything that you want covered on that side I've not already spoken at length on? Or maybe I have spoken at length, you just weren't here for that part of the stream. We have been going for a while. Am I ready to mingle? I am not in a situation to mingle right now. We're doing science. Come on now, Dragon. Stay focused. Alright, I think we've just about covered it on that side of things. And of course, all goes the same for various weapons that cause slash procs as well. To what budget I'm saying damage over time equals bleed. Okay, so people use bleed for various different things. But very simply, the majority of understanding on bleed is slash procs, which is what I've just covered at length here. Oh, he just died straight away. They're not going to survive this long enough to test, are they? No, they're not. I need the higher level ones. So just to get your full question together, how does how does damage over time from procs work? Can you raise that amount? Well, this is how it works, and this is how you can raise it. You know, take a screenshot, read it, understand it, rewind the stream if you have to. Slash procs require modded damage and faction bonus. That's how you can improve it. Base damage, so a stronger weapon deals a stronger slash proc. Pure damage bonuses, so things like Serration, things like your Arcanes, things like, for example, what do you call it? You can get a pure damage buff from various abilities as well. So Mirage's Eclipse, wait, is that one a multiplier or is it pure damage? You know what's actually a multiplier? Never mind. Pure damage, Shooting Gallery, there we are. That's a pure damage one. Absolutely, yeah. That's a pure damage one. Faction modifiers, again, that goes into your modded damage. So faction double dips. Status damage, exceedingly rare. In fact, I can't think of an example of it. Days Tank, can you point an example of status damage outside of a couple frame passives? Because there are a couple frame passives which mean that some procs, or all procs, do more damage. But that is exceedingly rare. As in it is, Ash buffs up your slash specifically. Sarin, I believe, buffs up damage from any status proc. And Lavos makes them last longer. Oriole's Contempt? Oh, is that a new mod? That'll be it then, it's a new mod. Yeah, it's a new mod. Ah, okay. That'll be why I'm not aware of this one as yet. Plus 90% melee damage, 60% damage from status effects. 60% damage from status effects is not correct terminology for anything in this game, DE. What does that actually mean? Plus 60% damage would be correct. 60% damage from status effects implies a 40% reduction. DE plus. Come on. Come on. It's 70%, it's bugged? Oh, for crying out loud. I'll get around to looking at that one later. I don't even have that mod yet. I'll get around to looking at that one later. But yeah, absolutely. When it comes to your slash procs, you're basically just looking at this. You're basically just looking at this lot of stuff. Whereas 4 converts other damage types to slash. It doesn't convert them, it allows slash procs to happen off them. So it's kind of like a hunt munitions for every single source of damage ever. Think of it like that instead. Imagine slapping that model and you lose 40% damage. I wouldn't put it past DE to accidentally code things that way. I really wouldn't. I mean, one of the changes they had to make to Caliban, if I just grab him here real quickly for you. So if you have a look at the top right, you'll see a buff appear once I start using this ability. You can see I've added 14 damage per second to these hits. And as I hold left click, it goes up and up and up. Okay? However, on release, that was 10 times lower. They missed a 0. Or just didn't seem to think it was necessary. So yeah, DE can absolutely make mistakes in the mathematical side of new releases. For one reason or another, they're humans, you know? Mistakes happen. But yeah, they don't have a unified, codified terminology for how things are handled in this game, and it does get annoying at times. Yeah, Caliban floats idle but walks normally. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I don't know why he didn't get a floaty movement as well. That kind of surprised me, but yeah. Daze Tank, can you calm with the caps or I will time you out? Thank you. I'm just going to spin again because I feel like that was annoying you, and if you wanted to use caps, I'm going to do that again. Enjoy it, it's an ability. As is this one, which by the way is absolutely amazing. Look at that, every single one of them that was caught in the area now has no armor whatsoever. This area remains for another 10 seconds. I think it was like 25 seconds for the area. And even when it runs out, yeah, you can see the extent of the area. That guy survived it. The rest of them, they got caught in it. And yeah, the ability has run out. The area's run out. They're still sapped of all armor. Like, get wrecked. Get wrecked. Boy. Now, obviously, at this level, their armor isn't really that much to speak of in the first place, but still, it's hilarious just how much effect that has. Apparently, it's 4 implodes instead of explodes now. Yes. The effect is overall, I'd say, better now it's done that way, because you can see it happening here. Why have you guys got no armor? Oh, I just cast the ability, didn't I? Ah. Whoops. Yeah, I've spawned them into no armor as a result of that. My bad. But yeah, you can see that it implodes now. It's a bit funky at times. It can cause all kinds of weirdness. Like, the implosion is so strong, it'll actually send them past the implosion, which isn't the best result. It would be nice if it kind of grabbed them together rather than doing that. But it goes pretty well. Now, the damage is actually really reduced here, because we got so many Xmas units reducing blast damage. So if we go kill those and spawn in non-Xmas, let's just get rid of that and go for just good old heavy gunners. Heavy! Yeah, I can spell him. Let's just bring in you, and you. Easy peasy. I don't want to click up in 20. So we can just go... Bring them all in. Now they're sapped of all their armor. If I do that again, they get absolutely wrecked by that 10k damage. Because it's 10k blast damage. And Arsenic Bow laugh at blast damage. But yeah, it doesn't just strip on hit. In fact, it doesn't strip on hit at all. It's the zone. As you can see, even spawning in new enemies, all of them which are in the zones I've created get completely stripped of their armor. So you can use this to hold down a choke point effectively. Now you pop it in a zone, and you can see this faint ring I created, and it is really faint, kind of shimmering its way around. That faint ring, that zone down there, you can just about make out. Entering into that as an enemy, that's a no armor zone. That's a complete no armor zone. So Caliban is like a better Zaku. Oh no, they have different ways of handling. Zaku can create fields for a longer period of time. In fact, indefinitely, thanks to the ability to time stop his own abilities. Zaku has the ability to draw weapons out of enemies, so Zaku does a lot more DPS. Zaku also has a much better tank in the fact that he has some serious evasion, whereas Caliban's tank is entirely these guys. Let's see if they can actually kill stuff. At this level, probably not, but let's have a look. Oh, no, wait, no, I take it back. They can handle this level. Slowly, but surely, because, you know, AI are silly. But yeah, with the armor stripped on a level 50 heavy gunner, they can actually kill them. Yeah, Caliban is much more of a control frame. The damage that he gets from his fourth ability is about the only damage worth speaking about. You can see, even with the armor strip, these guys are taking a while to get these kills done. The armor strip is permanent, yes. Completely permanent. It also applies to shields. So it will strip 100% of armor and shields entirely. That's it, gone. His other really big ability is, of course, this Sentient Stomp, which makes them more vulnerable to damage. We do that. We stomp them, and then zap. They're taking huge amounts of damage. Well, that is his crowd control. You see, they are lifted for quite a while. What is his helmet? It's that stomp. That is his helmet ability. Now, it's a bit of a weird one for crowd control. It lifts them. It makes them take more damage as well. As you can see, you know, it actually does some damage. And it also doubles as a mobility option. Look at this. Click. You see, he can actually use that to leap towards an enemy at considerable distance. And he can still stomp whilst using this, lift them up, and deal yet more damage. But this kind of stops working after, you know, level 20. It's pretty pathetic at this level. It's pretty pathetic at this level. So, any other mobility option is probably better still. I wouldn't recommend using his first ability. It's poor. It's poor. Is it worth subsuming any abilities onto him? That's a very good question, honestly. He could do with more tank. He could really do with more tank, especially as this ability is expensive to cast. Each one will give you 50 shields per second with the setup I put in the video. Even then, that's a lot of energy for 150 shield per second for something like 30 seconds. So his tank is really lackluster. If his shield breaks, these guys stop healing him until you start recharging, and then they come back to heal. Empower gives you a free mod slot if you're not using Blind Rage. True, there is that, yeah. You can use Empower to help free up some slots. You should summon all three at once. I feel like that'd be a good change, yeah. Like 50 energy. I would change it to 75 energy, but summons all three at once. I honestly would make that change there. I don't mind them not really doing much in the way of damage, because it's not a damage ability. The damage is secondary, it's supportive. More important is they distract enemies and they shield him. That's the big part of what this ability is actually doing. And then with the Sentient Wrath, I'm not too fussed with where it's at. I would like a longer duration. That 15-second duration, even as I've got it modded, so 10-second base, that is not a long duration to say that it's a 50 energy cast and it's got a limited number of targets. Affected by strength, so we can bring it right the way up, but I would like a higher duration on this. This is a meme. I'm not sure if we can really fix a meme. I'm not sure if we can fix a meme. Maybe if it took incoming damage and turned that back out. Similar to Octavia's... what's it called? Octavia's Mallet. If this turned you into effectively an Octavia's Mallet to reflect damage out in an AoE, that would be pretty decent. That could scale because it's got a decent radius on it. He heals 8 a second in his one. It's 8 per hit. So if he's hitting 10 enemies at once with that, he'll heal 80 damage per hit tick, as it were. So in Sentience is fun, they're pretty much useless. They're shield regen. They're his tank ability. That's his crowd control. That's his tank. This is small crowd control. Mostly it's about defense reduction. And the damage is cherry on top for Star Shard levels. Beyond Star Shard, that 10k will fade off pretty quickly. You'll be more focused on using that defensive strip to absolutely wreck things. It's not a great tank? No, it's not a great tank. It turns out no one frame is great at everything. His tank is not strong. So you need to work with him to build other ways of survival, similar to how Banshee's tank is seriously lacking. Various frames of terrible tank, they have various ways of handling that. Banshee's is honestly one of the worst, if not the worst out there, and Caliban's tank is pretty close to that. He has got some decent crowd control. I wouldn't say it's very good, but it's decent crowd control. This again, it's passable for crowd control. some elements of it, but he's much more of a support frame. He is much more of a support frame. You're going to build for his 4? His 4 is a very big part of his kit. It's because these abilities all have holes in their usefulness. That one is just a hole. That one could do with some buffing, that one could do with some buffing. Because this one's so much stronger than the others, that will be your main build site. Yes, absolutely. Maybe Parasitic Armor could work on it with the shield regen. No, Parasitic Armor actually removes your shields entirely. I don't think you can gain over shields whilst that's active. I'll be honest, I haven't tested it. I wouldn't imagine it would work. I wouldn't imagine it could work. I mean, actually, you know what? Let's give that a test. There's no point imagining. Let's go find out. You know, we're here to test things. Let's go find out. I want to know. I want to know. Let's have a look and see if it can help us or if it's a dead end. Oh, let's remove the assist whilst here. Perfect. There we are. 2 birds, 1 stone. I like it. Inaris useless over level 500, says Prestan. Over level 500. Over level 200 is just pointless content. I don't care about it. There are no rewards for going over level 200. There's no benefit to doing so other than just you feel like the challenge. So, enjoy your challenge. Maybe subsume some invisibility onto Inaris at that point. Parasitic Armor. I doubt this is going to work for us. I really do. But hey, let's try it out. I'm going to replace Razor Gaia for very obvious reasons. Let's give this a try. Probably not going to work, but let's give it a try. Because at least then we've done the testing to find out. Don't worry about it, Zom. It's just a minority. There's not a focus on it so much as some people want to talk about it because that's what they enjoy doing. We're trying to say, what if you have a Sentinel also there with Guardian after using Parasitic Armor? I mean, we're kind of discovering that right now, Red Panda. We're kind of looking into that right now. That's the entire point of the assist, Joker. That's the entire point of the assist. 200% strength for full defense strip? Yep, that's correct. 50% base, 200% strength will take 50 all the way up to 100. And then you can just stop there. That's it, you're good. That gave us some. Ooh! That is not what I expected. You can gain overshields from these guys when you've drained all your shields out entirely. Ooh! And of course, summoning more, it'll last longer. Alright, let's unpause these AI a moment. Let's see. Does the shield gate work? Adaptive armor is, of course, kicking in. Ah, no, we got an issue. Because I'm taking damage, it no longer counts. My shield has been broken. And it stopped working. Yep. It stopped working. Oh, hello. Can you kindly not? I'm trying to recover my health here. Punch through! Alright, so... Now you can see, as soon as I can start regenning shields, these guys are great. But if I'm not able to regen shields, then they're no good for me, yeah. So we're at max amount now. If I get rid of that... Yeah, no. They stop being helpful. Brief respite for shield on cast. We can give that a try. Let's clean this up and give it another look in a sec. Let's give that brief respite a look, yeah. It was a good idea, Catacosmo. It was a good idea. It just seems like it doesn't want us to have that just now. Let's see. What can we drop at the moment? Just for testing purposes. Let's drop stretch. There we go. Let's see if this helps us. Okay. So on cast of that ability, it does give us some overshields. Go ahead and shoot me now. I've lost my shields. I'm going to get out of the line of fire and see if I recover any for a moment. No. But if I cast that, yes. And now I get the shield regen. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the combo. By casting an ability, we get some temporary shields just long enough that the sentients can start healing us again. I need more energy. So that isn't viable long term, I'd say. It's very expensive to try and pull off. Potentially. But it does work to an extent. Also, yeah, Augment could work here. You're right, let's have a look at this. Capacitance doesn't go on this frame, that boy. Turns out other frames are capable of other things in better ways. You'll be hard-pressed to find Volt stripping armor, for example. Does adaptation stack with the passive, or is it just stupid? Adaptation overrides the passive. So if you have adaptation and the passive, adaptation will not stack with it, just when adaptation is better, which is going to be always, the passive is wasted. So let's rehash. I had Augur Message on there. Hang about. I had Augur Message on. Did I miss a trick earlier? Let me get the aura back into place. What was I using? Let's put Sprint Boost on for now. Did I miss something? Summon you, summon you, summon you. There goes all my shields, because whatever. Activate this, got the 1000 armor. Yeah, I just didn't use the ability earlier, didn't I? Whoops. Yeah, just the Augur mods are enough to actually make that happen. Augur mods allow you to use the sentience, restoring shields, even when you're not allowed shields. That's a very interesting combo. It doesn't even take brief respite, yeah. The Augur mod did it. If you spend energy every time you want shield regen, you're spending a lot of energy to make them work. So what we can do with this is a proof of concept, Daze Tank. This isn't a finished build. I think you guys need to remember that when you comment on and critique stuff on a stream or anywhere unfinished. If it's not finished, of course it's not going to look great. This is a proof of concept. This is demonstrating, oh wait, yes, we can actually use Parasitic Armor and still have shield gating, which is huge, by the way. That's huge. So we can try and build around that. Let's see, what can we do with you then? What we can do is we can take out Rolling Guard here for redirection to buff up how much we're getting from this. This is multiplied by strength, so that's still doing us good as well. There's a difference between looking for holes and then just critiquing it negatively. Looking for holes and just calling it that, your tone, your idea doesn't come across. Come on, you're on text chat. Here I'm able to give you my full emotion. You're not, you're just on text. Do think about how you phrase things. If you want to be constructive, act it. And then it'll come across better. We are testing out Parasitic Armor on Caliban here, Quintus. So, if we go for Augur Reach, is that really necessary? Probably not. Normal Stretch is probably still better there. In fact, yeah, I'm just going to go with Normal Stretch after all. Let's give this a rock now. Because we're combining Arcane Grace with having what's going to be nearly 2,600 armor. And that's on top of this, so yeah, it's actually going to be over that. Okay. Parasitic Armor, let me show you there. So this turns your shield maximum into armor temporarily. So my shield maximum with this setup now is 1,295. That'll turn that into double that in armor because I've got 200% strength. Do I have Guardian on my Sentinel? I believe I have something. The Guardian? I don't think it's Guardian, though. Oh, yeah, I do have Guardian, yeah. So that wasn't proccing. So Guardian is not going to help us right now. Shield Charger. Shield Charger increases max shield and shield regen. So that won't apply, no. Because if you max shield is 0, 0 times 160% is 0. So yeah, I'd imagine that's just not going to do anything. We can put it on, but we're going to see nothing happen, I can guarantee it. Uploadites, I haven't tried that yet, no. We are currently looking at Caliban from someone else's idea. We're seeing what we can do with it. So let's do that. Let's get this energy. Alright then. Get safe just to cast a shield a moment. Let's see what happens here. I've got 2,800 bonus armor. I'm just going to kind of run around a bit. And we've got my adaptation passive now kicking in. CC again. You do that. Yeah, we're handling. Granted, these are level 50s, but we're getting a demonstration. Recast that. Need to stomp to start the shield regens. That's interesting. That is interesting. We lose the shields innate to ourselves, but we still have the shield regen from the sentience so long as we pop it. And now we have a pretty crazy bonus to our armor. And that's because of his native ability to gain overshields through sentience. Like so. And we don't need to bring in the full 3 at once, they just give more regen. You can kind of cast them on demand. Why does the ability start the shield regen? Yeah, it's from the Auger mod. By having the Auger mod give us some shields, the sentients then go, oh, you have shields, I can give you shields. They only give us shields if we already have at least 1 shield hit point. With 0 shields, these don't help us. Which is why normally when your shield breaks, you have to wait for it to start regenning before they start healing you again. That little change, that Auger mod kicking in, means that we bypass the 0 shield restriction of Parasitic Armor. That's interesting. Because you imagine, you can then stack that with another source of health. Say if you have a Wisp in the squad, that can seriously buff you up. You'll now have loads of armor, loads of health, health regen, and on-demand shield regen for shield gating. Wouldn't casting a sentient activate the Auger bonus? It does, yeah. You're limited to 3 sentients, so you can't keep doing it that way. And there's utility to be had in casting other abilities. But absolutely, as you can see, casting it does work. So any of his abilities, aside from, of course, Parasitic Armor itself, will make it happen. I cast a Sentient, I'm now gaining shields. That's a very interesting result, not gonna lie. That's a very, very interesting result. You want armor, go for tanker? I mean, yeah, you can use other arcanes towards it. That's a separate point entirely. Does Arcane Aegis kickstart constantly when active? Sorry. Does Arcane Aegis kickstart constantly when active? I'm not sure exactly what you mean there. Because, oh, hang on. I think I understand what you're asking. I think I understand. Let's have a look here. Aegis. On damage shield recharge. So if I recall correctly, Aegis doesn't give you overshields. It is entirely about the overshields that we were working with here. If it doesn't give you overshields, it is useless to this entire build idea. What, I made this the sentient frame look more sentient? Oh, sorry. I mean, he looks a lot more like a sentient this way, you know? Of course I'm using his alt helmet. Tetsu saying, serious question though, do Helmet Nourished or Zarta's Whisper give the summon sentience a damage bonus? I haven't tested that. It'll be a bit hard to test, to be honest, because we're not sure about their damage stats in the first place. We try and get that to happen, but tough one to check out. And then again, their damage is shit, so I wouldn't worry about it. Their damage is absolutely terrible. The most you'd be looking at there is, oh, maybe they can give you a void proc, but if you really need that, you could just, you know, do damage yourself. The damage from the Sentients is absolutely terrible. The AI from them is absolutely terrible. Can the same idea work on Protea for extra armor? That's a good question in itself as well, because she can also give overshields. I would honestly say probably yes. If anything, these guys being limited to giving you shields only when you have shields might be counterbalanced by Protea's ability to just start doing it when you pick up the grenade. So potentially, yeah. Potentially, it could work out well for her. That could be an entirely different way of handling stuff. They do okay damage when it's armor stripped? I mean, no. These guys have been doing, honestly, piss all damage to level 50s with their armor stripped. Level 50s fall over to basically breathing on them once you've got their armor stripped, so no, not really. Harry gives you 3k shield, try him. Could do. You can have a look at that. I mean, at this point, it's kind of a proof of concept. We've seen that it works, yeah. Any frame which can force over shields when they have no shields can make this work. Can I give a quick rundown of Razor Gaia, since my usage of Caliban is the only ability I find myself not using on him. So the rundown is this, Quintus. It's funny spin guy. Don't use it. It is able to give you a secondary form of mobility by, while spinning, clicking on an enemy to make you just lurch all the way over to them. Aside from that, you can just not use it. I switch to a random config. Yeah, I don't know what this one was for. It's got half its mods on. This has Razor Gaia still on it. You can use it to go... Oh, that might be out of range. There. You can use it to do that. You click on them. Swoop! Swoop! It's a secondary mobility option. It's not that great. Certainly not for the energy cost. So, don't. Daze Tank. No one cares. Quite frankly, if you don't like the ability, you've made your point clear. I'm still going to demonstrate it when someone else wants to see what's happening. Can it? If I'm getting tired of seeing the same message, I know others are. Was the heal rate mentioned on its ability? Oh, let me re-demonstrate. Voila. So it is per hit. So if you watch, I'll spin now. You'll notice I'm constantly gaining health from hitting them. So per hit, he gains that health. And he's going to die here, isn't he? Yep, there it is. And that health regen is actually terrible. That was level 50s, and he did not survive. So the whole ability just can be ignored. It just can be ignored. It's a meme. And, well, I've already made myself patently clear how I feel about meme abilities. I've made myself very clear how I feel about meme abilities and meme frames, all told. Funny to talk about, not fun to use. So, yeah, Caliban in that regard is lacking. It's supposed to heal you? Not supposed to, it does heal you. It heals you on hit with enemies. On the amount that it states. Granted, that was terrible. It had, like, next to no strength on it, because this is an unfinished build. This was just testing purposes, but yeah. Is he better as Euryale? I think you mean better than Euryale, and yes. Oh my god, yes. Is Caliban better than Euryale? Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, yes. Okay, look, I'm gonna come in with this, like, not even trying to keep myself alive. Is he better than Euryale? Yeah, easily. Total armor and shield strip in one ability in an area. That area still exists, so if I summon these in now, they all still have no armor. A pretty decent crowd control option, and just zip. If I can aim, that'd be amazing. There we go. How are you surviving that? Wow. Okay. Those are bodies. Urania's a pretty cool K-drive, though. Days Tank, I'm timing you out. Now you are actually trying to trigger me. You can come back in a minute. I'm sorry, you do not come in here and say those things. No. No, come on now. Come back in a minute when you've thought about what you've done. Honestly. Space Gets saying, they decided that Boreal, Amir, and Nero mods had to share names, so the mods can't be stacked of each other. I haven't had the mods yet to test that, but okay. They got stacking restrictions, they got stacking restrictions. Mad with Power? Drake, is this your first time here? And I know it's not, but I'm going to say that anyway. What? You haven't seen the rest of them come out of that. They're saying, Urania is used for 3 things tops. Animations for fashion? True. Fashion itself? Wrong. I mean, weebs. Okay, true. Weebs exist. And giving aqua blades to someone else. I mean, not better, but I suppose if you want enough damage to, you know, kill things on the star chart, sure, go for it. Quintus, no. Quintus, come on. Come on now. Although name something hatred. Yeah, I haven't tested how that works out in terms of blocking, although it seems you have. I mean, have you checked Space Cadet? Do they actually contradict? Sorry, not contradict, conflict with each other? Does the modding screen tell you that? Or is this a supposition? So I'm not too sure at this point. Days Tank, congratulations, your insight check passed. Oh, fair enough then. Yeah, if you've tested and they're just not working, then fair enough. I guess that's similar to on the Hounds. You got the Prospectus mods, the Audit mods, and the other mod. I don't care about Hounds, so there you go. So all of those, they are exclusive within each other's kits. Even though otherwise you could just mix and match. So that kind of makes sense. Pick from column A, B, and C. It's not a terrible situation. Despite no real reason to conflict. I could have been preemptive balancing. Let me have a look at them. I haven't had a look at all these mods properly yet, so where's the best way to do this? Codex. No, wait, Codex won't show up. Damn it! I'm gonna have to list them, aren't I? Boreals, Anguish, Boreals, Contempt, Boreals, Hatred. And then we've got, was it Amir? No, it wasn't Amir. What's their name? Amar? Ah, Amar's Anguish. Amar's Contempt. Amar's Hatred. Nera, that's what I was remembering, Nera. 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 Nera, let's have a look at these. Let's have a look at these. So, Boreal's Anguish, first of all. Reduced gravity while aim gliding and increased aim glide wall latch duration. Okay. That's all very airborne stuff from the Owl one. Okay. Only minus 75%. There is a mod for minus 100%, so it's limited there, but fair enough, fair enough. And we compare that to another Anguish one. Bullet jump and sprint speed. Okay, and then Nera's one is bullet jump and aim glide. Ah, okay. Sorry, Space Cadet, what was that? There. This one affects stats which the others affect. So there is a clash. Aim glide. Aim glide. Bullet jump. Bullet jump. They do clash over there, yeah. Let's have a look at the Contempt ones. Melee damage. Damage from status effects. Melee damage slash. Melee damage status chance. Yep, there is crossover there as well. Let's have a look at the Hatred. Shield capacity, ability efficiency. Armor ability strength. Health ability duration. Okay, I can see on that side because they're forcing you to choose down a line of which way you're taking it. And it keeps it in with the rest of them. Days Tank, you're doing a very good job of making it where I choose just to not invite you back. Come on now. H1s make no sense. It's keeping in with the rest of the sets having that way, so kind of makes sense on that line. And secondly, it's choosing a specific line for it. So on its own, it doesn't make sense, but only when you see it on its own. When you compare it to the others, it would make less sense if only one set of these mods, one column was allowed and all the others had the block on them. So it keeps it consistent within the sets. I think it is the right choice. Because there's arguments for both ways, but it's only on the hatreds where that argument exists. So if they're going to block any of them, and I don't feel it's necessary to have done that. Although I suppose, you know, having, what's it, over here, yeah, having melee damage these. Well, actually, they're on different weapons, aren't they? So obviously you can't combine them. That's actually a moot point, Ken. Well done. It's actually really just the Anguish ones, but okay, fair enough. Have I tried the new melee weapons yet? I've given them enough time to level them and to get a feel for the fact that the dual daggers one is kind of a bit crappy. But other than that, I've not properly investigated them yet, no. All the character-based mods can be equipped together? Hey, just because there's one set that does one thing doesn't mean another set has to follow that rule. We learnt this same lesson when it came to the predictions of the galvanized mods and Steel Path Arcanes. I looked at comparing them to one particular group of mods, or actually a couple different groups, where they all lost all stacks at once. Or lost stacks individually. When there was another thing out there where a stack refreshed the entire stack. So, it's all over the place. EU redirection? Uploadite. What makes you saying that? Uploadite. Do you have any idea what you're saying right now? Do you have any opinion to put behind that other than just EU redirection? I'm calling you out. Why are you saying that? What's got you saying that, my dude? Hedge mods are effectively amalgam mods of rank 5 redirection, steel fiber, and vitality. Kinda, yeah. Yeah, they're half mods of different aspects. Redirection gives you more shields, your shield gate less. Uploadite, excellent. So you've come in here, I don't know how long you've been in the stream, you've come in here, you've seen the redirection mod is in use, and you've gone, oh no, this must be a bad thing. Uploadite. It has a purpose. We're combining it with the Parasitic Armor ability. We're actually using it for something, so I'm glad you jumped to a conclusion. Don't do that. It's not very becoming. It's really not very becoming. You're responding to Quintus? Well then at him. God blimey. At him. Otherwise it just looks like you're saying EU redirection. You could have said you were saying that to Quintus straight away. Besides, sometimes you don't need shield gating to fully stack up again. Look what's above it. Do you realise how fast this chat moves, Uploadite? I'm not going to do that, no. At someone. Just chat better. Yeah, I've got the stream here to show my reactions and point out what I'm responding to. You guys are just chat messages going up the screen now. Of course I'm not going to follow if you're having a private conversation. Don't at each other. I'm going to get confused. Also, in redirection isn't exactly a very constructive comment anyway. So, that aside... Those curious, is Caliban a decent frame? Yes. Has he got issues? He's got a lack of tank. That is an issue to be worked around, much in the same way as people do on Banshee. You can handle it to some extent with use of his crowd control abilities. So you've got Sentient Wrath and Fusion Strike both act as a form of crowd control. You've also got Lethal Progeny as a bit of a distraction tool. All three of these together can help you stay alive, adding on to the fact that otherwise his tank is lackluster. You can buff his tank up in various ways. Parasitic Armor is surprisingly usable because you can bypass the no shield limit by using overshields. And as for his very first ability, which is normally Razor Gaia, that's a meme. That one's a meme. You can ignore that one, it's just a meme. Overall, Caliban defensively is weak, but he has crowd control, he has distraction, and most importantly, he has a very, very powerful defense strip. This ability in itself is a kingmaker for him, because the rest of them combined do not stack up against Fusion Strike. I would like to see the other abilities doing more, and we've talked about how they could be buffed earlier. Give this one more duration on it. The damage vulnerability, all the rest of it, that can stay where it is, but give this one more duration more than anything else. This, up the cost to 75, but make it cast all three of them in one cast. So it effectively halves the cost per sentient, but you're not making it where we're just making it free. No, we're not that cheeky. His first ability, if he had it where he reflected the damage incoming back out again, which funny enough, Revenant does, but not quite as powerfully as Mallet. If his first ability acted like Mallet but on himself, that's Octavia's Mallet, then his first ability would be worthwhile. Potentially. Fusion Strike, I wouldn't make a change. Fusion Strike just works. It doesn't need a buff. It's a good ability as is. This one's solid. Supposed to get my game froze up to try and leave the Arsenal? Oh, well, that's fun. Yeah, there are quite a few spin abilities in the game. For a while, spin to win was a thing, because, you know, run, control, spin, attack. And that was meta for a very long time. Some people still think it is meta. I haven't seen it as much, but it used to be really meta. Spin attack for win. There's a lot of spinning in this game. Including various spin of people's ideas. That leaves your head spinning. Spin to win is still a thing if you're maining with a great sword. Oh, true, yeah, there is that. That's a very different kind of spin. You are absolutely right, though. If we grab ourselves, where has it gone? Where has it gone? The Grand Prime. There's always just good old spin to win, isn't there? Oh, the lack of attack speed I've got on this at the moment is painful. Ugh. Why have I not got anything buffing that right now? Let's just put that away again, shall we? That was a bit disgusting. We've been in the simulacrum for a while. This has been a big investigation session, learning session for us all, hasn't it? But honestly, that change with the Parasitic Armor, there is more to be explored there. There is a lot more to be explored there. I'm not going to have that as my main build overall. Let's switch this over to here as a thing to investigate. Means I now need to build this one. Let's get rid of that straight away. Let's rebuild this as my standard build. What do we want on this one? We want... Sprint boost is always fun. Extra speed is nice on a frame that has no tank. It's nice to get around. Let's go... I'm going to put adaptation on this for a moment. I want to test usability with that. The rest of the build, we had Transit Fortitude was on here somewhere, I think it was. We have Intensify, was it, I want to say? I'm trying to remember the build. Prime Continuity, alright, that of course goes on here. We got Flow, Streamline, Augment Message, Prime Flow, Streamline, Augment Message, and Stretch. There we are. And then Power Drift up the top, of course. Power Drift, there we are, that gives us our 200%. Again, because I don't like relying on his first for healing, because it's terrible, Arcane Grace, so it at least has some personal healing in. There are other ways and means you can go about stuff, I'm going to put that there for now. Arcane Energize, because energy is fun. So I'm saying, Kenjineer, since it can make the 3-star regening again, do we run Augur or Brief Respite on Caliban, even without Parasitic Armor? Yeah, actually. Well, I mean, I've already got Augur Message in the build, so you're sorted. But yes, having an Augur mod in the build, I wouldn't go Brief Respite. I don't feel that's really necessary when you've got Augur mods and they are, you know, actually pretty useful mods to have. Just a Augur mod in the build will allow that to start working straight away. An emergency restore, which is useful. That is actually genuinely useful and surprising too. If we do this again here, probably get some energy, that'd be a good idea. There we go. Pop this one up. Am I going to take loads of damage, or are they all going to ignore me somehow? The damage is beginning to build up, and we see the power of that adaptation. Bring in another sentient. Yeah, using normal adaptation is actually kind of doing a good job here. Because of course it benefits shields, not just armor, or not just health. I didn't cast fast enough there to demonstrate, but okay. The shield is working. We've got the crowd controllers doing amazing stuff. Yeah, we can just kind of shoot them in the face. That one alive? Nope, that's just going to float forever and turn to dust. Well, that one got Thanos. Natural Talent is good with the Caliban 4, so slow about it. It is a somewhat slow ability, but because you don't need to be casting it all that often, I don't find myself all that concerned. Honestly don't. Are you guys going to stand up? That was weird. Excuse me whilst I just tank this. Lovely, lovely combo. I don't need it for the glaive, but I'll take it. And smack. Well, that's just cheesy. That's just cheesy. So yeah, I would say you don't really need to worry about spamming his fourth ability. Natural Talent, useful in making it faster. If you want to go for a full efficiency build, sure, but full efficiency and still having a 200% strength, don't see it happening, and less strength is kind of a waste of time. If you're going to be stripping armor, if you get something where you need to be stripping armor, you might as well strip the whole lot. Might as well strip the whole lot. It is good. I do wonder sometimes if people expect every frame to come out to just be all the same kind of let's go for a nuke approach. Have a look at the last 5 that came out. We had, obviously we've seen Caliban, we've got Eureli, who is obviously not a nuker. Her abilities were designed around control, but I'd say she does a pretty bad job of it. Her defensive ability, I can't believe I'm saying this, her defensive ability actually strikes me slightly better than Caliban's. Not a lot, slightly better, except it has a huge downside of only being able to use a secondary weapon. And that's just upsetting. D-Snares, it's a control ability, but it's a relatively weak one. The fact you have to cast it multiple times to get more than 5 targets at once, yikes. Just yikes on that one. Aquablades, oh, they call it a control ability. Oh, it staggers enemies that get too close, but if you're moving around, which you should be, it ends up being a bit whack. Oh yeah, K-driving on normal missions, that's just terrible as well. Having her defensive ability lock her into a K-drive as well, oh my god, that's just horrible. And then Riptide. Riptide has the potential to be good, but they made the scaling damage based on number of enemies caught in it rather than level, which was a very weird choice if I do say so. And even though they reduced the scatter of enemies, it still scatters enemies. Not as much as it used to, but it still scatters them after a very short duration. I'm like, come on. Come on. I think with Aquablades, Aquablades is one where it could be a pseudo-exalted. Think like Korra's Whipclaw, where your melee weapon affects the damage of the Aquablade, affects the Whipclaw and could affect the Aquablades. If they made it that way, where you could mod the damage on Aquablades, that could be pretty spicy. That could really genuinely be spicy. And we know it's not going to be overpowered if you have to set it up proper, because you look at Gara. No one's running around with Gara maxing her up in all missions. She's used in a few niche cases by people who just want to use Gara for that. Gara, by the way, also having an exalted stat stick, effectively. If there is an augment which allows you to get the benefits of Merlina without using Merlina, it would still be a cheap augment to do, because, come on now, just K-drive for your defense, that just makes me so sad. At least let them use primary! C-Snares, I'm not sure if you could really make this that much better, to be quite honest, without changing the concept altogether. I'm not sure where I would go to fix this. Perhaps having the bubbles just ignore hitting things, slamming into terrain, that might be an idea. Duration higher, make the energy scale on number of enemies around and it just hits all enemies within the area, similar to how Ember's fourth ability will just increase the cost up to a cap and hit all enemies regardless. That could be a thing. You can make it where if C-Snares is hit by Aquablades, it causes more C-Snares to be recast from it. That could be a thing with it. Same, or you could have that same thing happen, but instead with Riptide. Riptide, if it collected enemies and just collected them, if it dealt damage scaled on level, any kind of change to make it more worthwhile than it is, because as an ultimate, it just kind of sucks. There are various ways you go with it. Armor Strip, maybe, but I feel like you don't want Armor Strip on everything. Despite how good it is as a thing, Armor Strip, I don't feel like her kit is angling that way at all. And certainly with Caliban just coming out with the Armor Strip there, putting it onto Eureli like that, that's unfair to both of them. Give her something else. So there is a lot that needs to be changed on Eureli, in my opinion. A lot of redrawing there. Then we go backwards another one. We got Sevagoth. Now Sevagoth came out with a lot of love and a lot of criticism. A lot of the love seemed to be more focused on his style more than anything. And criticisms, you know, the overall reception of his abilities, it was mixed for various reasons. Gloom is absolutely incredible. There's not a single person here who can tell me that Gloom is not incredible. It is. So that's just a thing. Reap and Sow, they have an interesting combination effect. The damage vulnerability from Reap, it's there, it's a thing you can use. I've not seen huge use of that. That's just because it's kind of hard to recognize it happening. It's a subtle ability. Ironically, given the fact you send out this huge shadow, it ends up being actually a kind of subtle ability. A bit weird. So, it's... I don't know how I feel about So. I really don't know how I feel about it. With Reap and Sow combo, it can do some pretty cool stuff. So on its own, I'm on. And then you've got the Exalted Shadow, which is, of course, an entirely different frame on top of it. Wholly different body. You can go a whole different route with him. Doesn't get the Invigoration bonus, which is a little bit sad. You got Embrace. Semi-interesting CC. It's not perfect, but it gets some work done. Slightly annoying to work with, but, well, some CC ends up that way. It's a bit here. Consume. I've not done lots with that, but it has potential, for goodness. Death's Harvest. Again, it's a debuff for damage and vulnerability. It's kind of hard to notice it doing a lot, but it's a thing. It's there. It's a thing. And then you just go back into your other form, so that's not really an ability. That's a switch. And you're right, Red Panda. Yeah, a lot of the complaint about Sevagoth when he came out was the fact that there was form on 3 things. You got Sevagoth, his Shadow, and his Claws, all asking for Former to be as high as they can be. That's a big ask. And I went through it, you know? I formed Sevagoth himself twice. How many times did I form the Shadow? That one got 2. And how many did I put on the Claws? That one got 5 in total. I kind of went all out on that one. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 former I put into Sevagoth, and well, you guys see how often I use him. He's not my style, so that was a bit. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little bit less of the former hit there, especially on the Claws. And this goes for all exalted weapons. They could do with this actually giving some, you know, capacity. But that's the big thing there. His kit isn't the strongest, but Gloom is absolutely amazing. So you know, yeah. And the other bits of his kit do still get some work done, so it balances out. He's not terrible. Nothing about him is terrible. He's good, with a great ability. Middle of the road. Middle of the road, in my opinion. We don't see many of them for various reasons, and I doubt we'll ever see loads of Sevagoths, because it takes a lot of investment to make him work, and the way you can use him, I feel, is somewhat limited. You basically got either to Gloom everything or Shadow everything. That's how it feels. Yeah. Good, but not for me, thank you. Notice there is a difference between not for me, thank you, and no, actually generally bad. Sevagoth is a frame I would recommend to others if it meets what they are looking for. Eureli is not a frame I'd recommend to anyone. Even if you say to me, hey Ken, I'm looking for a Warframe that can bring K drives into normal missions, I'd say, no, stop that, you're being an idiot. Don't come to me for that kind of advice. Because you're asking that specifically to use Euryale. Go away. What I'd say, honestly. I can't think of a good reason to use Euryale. I can't think of a reason I'd recommend her to anyone. Going back another frame, we got Lavos. Raise your hand if you don't already know what I think about Lavos. And then put your hand back down again because you'll learn very quickly all of a sudden. Lavos is a great frame. I really do like Lavos. He has got issues. Don't get me wrong, he has got issues. But I really like him. It was an interesting exploration for DE, switching away from the typical energy model into a cooldown model. And allowing him to therefore benefit from hiding away all the negatives of energy, but suffering from none of the positives of energy too. Lavos is a wonderful frame. Tensu is saying Euryale is recommended to buy your animation sets. You could just buy the animation sets, you don't need Euryale for that. If those animation sets were called Kawaii animation sets rather than Euryale animation sets, they'd still be the same animations. In fact, they'd probably make more sense if that's how they were labelled, and if Euryale just didn't exist. That's separate. Lavos one of your most played? Me too, Cat Cosmo. Aye, come on. Me and Lavos, he's not been around that long and he's my most used Warframe. Straight up my most used Warframe. Is insane. His kit works well. Not just the force synergy of you need to hold down this, put toxin into these. The abilities just work nicely. In fact, there's not really huge synergy between them. Transmutation Probe and Swift Bite, the Augment, it allows these to come off cooldown faster, but that's not a big focus. Vile Rush can put out some status to help catalyze. Transmutation Probe, Ophidian Bite, they can put out status to help catalyze. That's about the closest you get to synergy between these abilities. Otherwise, they are all separate. That one deals a bit of damage, but mostly this heals you. That one deals a bit of damage, but mostly it moves you around and puts some procs everywhere. That one does a little bit of damage, but mostly it's for, first of all, putting procs everywhere. Secondly, for transmuting the pickups. And thirdly, of course, bringing everything back to recast. And this one puts a little bit of damage out there, except by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. Lavos is a frame where you can put in minimum effort, like I'll be honest, I often do, and just rely on his armor and health to just tank the entire world ending, which is already itself a very useful thing to have. But Lavos, despite having a low skill floor, in that you can just be lazy with him, in Nara style, he then has a pretty high skill ceiling in making sure you use these cooldowns effectively to get the most out of each ability. He can go absolutely mad with his Catalyze when you combine Transmutation Probe and Swift Bite Augment. You can go crazy with them. Vile Rush can go places to getting you around, and there is a skill element in using Vile Rush effectively too. There's a lot you can get done with Lavos. He's not a perfect frame for everything, no. He is rather focused in his capability. He is a damage tank. His ability to hold a location is very so-so. His stealth is not heard of at all. If you helm with Euryale's Acroblades onto Lavos, it works well. What, the Acroblade on Lavos? Yikes. Do I think armor, health, and shield should be reworked? I don't see a reason they need to be reworked. No, I don't see a reason they need to be reworked from where they're at, David. Do you have a suggestion to go with that question? Otherwise, I don't see a reason. Any frame can stealth if you're sneaky? Well, that's not the frame stealthing, that's you. Frame stealth, I'm referring to things like Wisp, she jumps and she's invisible to enemies. I'm referring to Banshee, she can silence what she does. That's stealth. Wouldn't Acroblade spread the viral stacks? Which viral stacks? I think I've missed something here. You're speaking to each other then. Whatevs, I'll move on. Zomtronic, honestly, the way armor, health, and shields feel is fine. Maybe except like high endurance because shield gating. Well, that's not something worth designing for from DE. Yeah, but I'm in agreement there. I don't look at endurance missions. If you have gone beyond level 200, you have left where I care. I can still provide information to support on that, but honestly, the game's not designed for it. If you're going for super long endurance runs, you do you. Enjoy it. You're out of where I'm casting my spotlight of consideration because there's nothing really there. There's no extra rewards for it. There's some scoreboards, and there's the nice warm feeling you might get inside from slogging through it for 2 hours. You do you. I don't care anymore. If you're going past level 200, cool, have fun, bye-bye. Come back later. Space gets saying, fire rush into a wall, causing most, if not all, the files to pile in one spot. And then bring all the enemies towards it. I don't see that working too well, because fire rush doesn't do a lot of damage. Fire rush does not do a lot of damage, so if you're on any mission where that actually is killing stuff, you can kill stuff by just pressing 4 and calling it a day. Would putting Aqua Blades on Levos spread viral stacks being generated by him? What viral stacks? Why would it spread it? Aqua Blades does slash, not viral. And you can't put viral or any element onto subsumed abilities. So if that's the question you're asking, can you infuse elements onto subsumed abilities? The answer is no. That's the first question out of all of that, and the answer is no. So what viral stacks are being spread otherwise? Just no. Cedo is Lavos' ability? I don't need to change your minds on that. That's just wrong. So, no. Just no. Doesn't do a lot of damage per tick, but there'll be a lot of damage ticks happening. I mean, Space Gate, if I can see it in action, maybe. Let me, Tell you what. I think I have a way of demonstrating and seeing how that works out. Let's grab Xeneric. Let's grab some AI-paused enemies. Let's see if I can bunch these all up into a corner using Xeneric a second. Okay, this might take a while. Oh god, they're flying so far. No! Okay, I might be able to bundle him in that corner over there. Or I can just use a different frame for this. You know what, that would be more sensible, wouldn't it? Let's just do that instead. Kill the enemies. Try again. Let's just go get Cora real quickly. She'll do the trick. Cora, those enemies over there. Put them in one spot, please. What spot do I want to put them in? Put them in that spot. There we go. That'll do the trick. That'll do the trick. Now let's test this out. Alright, we're going to give heat on this proc. This is level 50 heavy gunners. Let's see how this works out. Well, for starters, I actually just kind of broke them up, but this will give us an idea. Well, some of them died. Some of the level 50s died. Now let's have a look at that another way around. Just reset that. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about Exodia Hunt trying to gather things up. Yeah, no. Vile Rush is not a source of damage beyond the basic levels, the star chart levels. Just, no. It's a source of procs, not damage. What's my opinion on the new War Quest? It was cinematic, very beautiful. Rather confusing plot lines. I felt some bits skipped over core transitionary details. So, in that side, I was a bit times on it. The introduction of the Drifter gameplay, now that was beautiful. The Drifter gameplay was very nice, I do like that. The pitching of the story, however, even with the timey-wimey wibbly-wobbly, there were plot holes many in that. There were plot questions and plot holes I'm not satisfied with from a story perspective. So, my personal experience going through it, it was stunning, it was engaging, it was interesting, it was enjoyable. But if I focus too much on the story, just like with anything Warframe, it falls apart in places I really would rather it didn't fall apart in. A very big question I have to ask of the quest is very simply, hold on, if there are loads of Tenno, and we know this is a fact because we see there's loads of Tenno on the ship, we know there are other Tenno operatives, other Warframes going around, it's not just us, we are not the only Tenno active in the system, so if there are loads of Tenno, even Nora confirms there are multiple Tenno, why is it that when one Tenno faces Ballas and goes into a portal, everything goes to shit? Why do the Tenno vanish when one person, us as the MC, gets knocked into a portal to the void? That is something I can't reconcile. There is no amount of timey-wimey wibbly-wobbly that accounts for the fact that all the other Tenno apparently just pieced out. That plot hole hurts. I don't mind about cryopods just being regular dudes and whatnot, and they're not actually Warframes or anything like that. I don't mind on that side. The very story element of there's loads of people, loads of Tenno, and then we're the only one doing anything. I don't mind the idea that we somehow end up the main character of the Tenno, because that's just like anything else. You have a main character of a story. That's how it happens. There are other stories going on that we aren't part of. At least you can imagine there are. But when it comes to we have an issue, therefore the entire system has an issue, I wonder where our friends went. That doesn't click. You thought the other Tenno got defeated after we got stuck in the void? I mean, did they now? Did they? Because Nora then turns around and is like, oh, look at this. We've got someone out of nowhere just doing the Tenno's work again. Hey, thank you, Mr. Drifter. Little Duck like, hey, wow, Drifter. There's someone else who's working who can fight against Nama. Yay! Like, do you really want to tell me every single Tenno is gone? I mean, really now? And if so, why are we not seeing this happen? Why do we get kicked out of the story? Time happens. Things happen, or stuff. And then, boop, hey, here's Drifter. The Tenno are gone. Yeah, I don't like that plot hole. I don't like it. Remus Hungry say, I could have sworn that X character wouldn't have perished in that quest. There's literally an entire part of the game that still relies on X, not Conclave. Remus, you can say spoilery things here, it's fine. I know by X you were saying Teshin. If someone here hasn't played the quest and doesn't want to be spoiled, that's on them for clicking on a stream that says spoilers. That's on them for not paying attention to every social I put out and said, there are spoilers on the stream. Don't worry, you can talk spoiler stuff here. It's absolutely fine. I'm just jumping around the simulacrum while talking because, you know, it's like you're on a phone call. You just wander the house. You end up on top of the rook. That moves for some reason. Is he breathing? Well, okay, let's not think about that too hard. Tenno vanished, stuff happened, years passed, then we fight and look, everything went back to normal, nothing really changed. Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on. We need a better answer than timey-wimey wibbly-wobbly. Because timey-wimey wibbly-wobbly only goes so far. Look, for example, at the Drifter. The Drifter casually flies on over from his Drifter camp to the Zaramin 10-0. He just casually flies on over to it, which means it's accessible from Earth. No matter which way, how way, what way, it's accessible from Earth, and therefore has been for however many hundreds, thousands of years, and yet no one else has picked it clean. It's just him there. And why is it just him? Where's everyone else? Is he just the last one? Do we really want to acknowledge that? Now, I know there's a whole eternalism stuff going on, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. Sorry, you can't use wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey for everything. That's called a plot hole. You can't use wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey for everything. It's a plot hole. I don't accept it, I won't accept it, I'm going to criticize it. So, the quest was enjoyable, the quest was exciting, the quest was stunning, visually and overall. But there are holes. The involvement of our Necromechs and Railjacks being a bit, it's sad. I get it, they don't want to lock people out of content for lack of super gear, especially when you are locked into the quest when you take it on. That's understandable. But the level of inclusion as a result being a bit, is a bit, you know, come on. Come on now. At least put it in the post-world stuff, but I guess that's going to be in the coming category. The Archons aren't Tenno, are they? They're just Warframe sentient stuff on them? Yeah. Or at least, yes, as far as we can tell. The Archons were sentient creations using Warframe technology. There was nothing saying they were Tenno. Absolutely nothing saying they were Tenno. I mean, come on. If they were actually Tenno, no one, Drifter or otherwise, stood a chance. Come on now. And yeah, the Archons, they were brilliant fights. They were tough. They were genuinely tough. They were brilliant fights. So that was good. Necromech and Railjack felt forced in. You know what? I think you're right there. I genuinely think you're right. All of what happened in the Railjack and Necromech could have not happened. And instead, you just have a different transitional process, and that would have been fine, yeah. That would have been fine. Except the last one. No, the last Archon fight is actually in itself amazing. That last Archon fight highlighted all of the effort you have put in to be an amazing Warframe. That actually put it together. It said, look at this difficult fight with this guy with a void pistol. Look at this difficult fight with this guy with a sentient bow. A bow which, by the way, we have tested and demonstrated is absolutely goddamn amazing. Look at all this difficulty you are having. Now here is your stuff back. Oh wow, what was that fight? Bam! It is funny, but that's the point of it. We are so powerful, it's hilarious. We're just like, oh wow, look at all of these enemies. Oh god, how can anyone ever handle all of this lot? Oh, how about we just kind of shoot them until their face is melted off? Yeah, that sounds good to me. There we go. Oh, look at that. You're trying to oppose the Tenno? I mean, it's cute that you tried, but we're just going to kind of walk through you. And as we kill, we just get better. It's speeding up as we go. That's the whole point. So I don't mind that one at all. I really don't mind that one at all. Maybe we should arm Ostrons with modded Tenno weapons? I don't know how the mods really translate. Maybe they just can't use them with that scale. Could be something like that. They don't have the skill to benefit from the mods? Maybe? I don't know. Hello, Potato. Is that Potato? Yeah, Potato. So, first time catching you stream, love YouTube content. Well, welcome, I do. Glad you're enjoying the YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed the stream just as much. Although, where are we time-wise? You've arrived at like the last 10 minutes. Well, I did not realise we've been here for quite so long, my word. I mean, this is perfect time, you know. Last stream before Christmas in the UK. Great time to just get a load off our chest, talk about all the various bits, and we've done a load of testing in the process. We have seen the demonstration of the Nataruk, we have seen the importance of slash viral in the current meta against armored enemies, we've seen how corrosive and radiation work against those same enemies as well, the interactions as a result of that. I hope there's a bunch of you guys here now who who have a much better understanding of slash procs as a result of this here. And now we're talking New War. I really have completely lost my words. This is why I don't stream for more than 3 hours. My mouth begins to just fall apart. There's definitely a good reason for me kind of drawing a line at 3-hour streams. I'm not built for 8-hour streams, and I'll be honest, a lot of people aren't built for them. They reach a point where they're just kind of something like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. If anyone feels in any way offended by that, understand that I was targeting absolutely no one in particular there, and just deal with it. Get over it. Yeah. Rem is saying, D better do something with Error. You're going to tell me that he lived after getting maimed by the Lotus, but died to some heat? I mean, it wasn't just some heat, you know. If he is dead, terrible way of doing it. But the sun was tearing the ship apart. The sun. It's understandable that someone might have a little bit of an issue with that. Now, the sun is a big, big, big thing. It's a very big thing. Sun ain't heat, it's radiation. Oh, come on, Drake. You know better than that. It's more than just radiation. The sun is also heat, which is in itself technically a kind of radiation with the way it's applied by the sun, so I guess it's a mix of both worlds. But infrared energy is basically heat. The way it hits you, it basically acts as heat, rather than mere radiation as we better understand it. Sun is kind of very, very hot. You're not wrong, Space Cadet. You are not wrong. The sun is indeed kind of very, very hot. It is indeed. I believe Kurzgesagt has done some very interesting videos on just how the matter from the sun actually would act if we brought it into the environments we're used to. In fact, I want to find that video real quickly. Let me find the link for that video real quickly, because Kurzgesagt do some amazing stuff. They are a huge inspiration for me. Kurzgesagt Sun. Oh, it's Grian uploaded. Nice. Yes, I watch Grian. Grian is an amazing YouTuber as well. There we go. If you want to know more about the sun, and more specifically what happens if you bring the sun to Earth, that video is a wonderful watch, and that channel is also a very wonderful watch. I popped that into the chat there, guys. I highly recommend checking it out. You can check it out in, like, you know, what, 10 minutes time once we all wrap up here? Sun, the giant explosion in space? Pretty much, yeah. The sun is a giant explosion in space, and the only reason the explosion hasn't wiped out everything we know and love is because the explosion is so damn big, it is struggling to happen. The explosion is so big, it is collapsing in and on itself constantly. It's held in that stasis, that equilibrium of just forces unimaginable fighting each other. And throughout the lifetime of the sun, those forces will change, the balance will shift, and eventually it will just pop everything we know and love. Right after it's melted everything we know and love. It's crazy. Drake saying, Ken, I'm deeply upset by the loss of Ordis. I know you don't like him much, but he was a ride or die friend. Well, wibbly wobbly timey wimey. I mean, Ordis still chats at me when I go into the helmet room, but that might be to do with creator mode. I don't know. Ordis still bugs me. He's still there, saying weird, silly stuff at me. Don't you worry. Again, I'm just going to jump and hover around as we chat. It's amazing. I love just bouncing around this game. The movement in this game is wonderful, isn't it, guys? All its ups and downs. The movement in this game is very fun to use. Sometimes it can be hard to get exactly what you're looking to do. Like, I'm trying to... Come on. I'm sure I can do this. No. I'm trying to wall latch on these. I'll just stand here. That's fine. That's fine. In the palm of a pacifist, except I'm on the back of his hand. So close enough. Orders is smart. He can count stars and rate colours. Well, I mean, if that's your definition of smart... Like I say, I picked Drifter and he's gone. It might depend on your settings, my dude. It might just depend on your settings. Orders form depends on what you picked, is what I understand, yes. To the extent of that, I don't really know at this point, because I've not been paying much attention to it. But from what I understand, yes, what form you picked as the starting point for that section determined what orders you have. Potentially, yeah. You can swap back and forth in the back of the ship. Oh, well, there you go, then. You can change your orders. It's fine. Hooray! Everyone gets everything. The best of wibbly wobbly timey wimey. You can pick and choose what universe you live in. It's wonderful. Let's all enjoy a sentient bow. There are some benefits to wibbly wobbly, but it gets a bit weird. It gets a bit weird. Oh, not orders, operator, drifter. Okay, right. Fair enough. Fair enough, I misunderstood there. Never mind, I misunderstood what Jackass was saying. This is what happens when I try to read half a conversation. I'm gonna get confused. My bad on that one. You were atting someone else. My bad. Yeah, for those of you who've missed where you can make at least some changes post-quest, for the operator side of things, that's very easy to achieve. You just click this button here. Bam, there you go. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Thank you. I stick with my Regal operator, thank you. I chose operator for a very good reason. And then if you want to mess around with your Lotus stuff, you can do that right here. I've not done any customization because I don't feel the need to. But you can absolutely do so right here. To the point that you can even re-pick which Lotus you have. Natabi wide. Eidolon Lotus be terrifying, quite frankly. Margulis be a complete lie. So I just stick with Lotus Radiant. That's fine for me. Where do y'all find Ordis? Well, I mean, if I do this... Ordis! Hello, Ordis. How are you doing? Now, this might be a result of creator mode. I don't know, but Ordis happens there. If you've turned off some settings, that might be part of it. We go into settings here, gameplay. Does it get... No. What was it in? What was it? Somewhere in here. I'll remember what I'm looking for in a moment, guys. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. They changed everything. I swear I've forgotten what I'm looking for. I mean, there is the Ordis volume, but that's separate. There we are. Enable hint transmissions. If you have this turned off, you lose a lot of the more annoying little transmissions around your ship. So you'll notice throughout all the streams we've been having for weeks now, Ordis hasn't once commented on my fashion. He's just stopped. I can do whatever fashion I want. I can just grab something, I can go randomize, call it a day, and there is no Ordis having a go at me. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So that's made Ordis a lot more manageable. The hint transmissions got in the way of the dodo. It gets rid of a number of other transmissions that you really don't need. Otherwise, Drake, honestly, I don't know what's going on to cause you to not get Ordis transmissions in here. Because you see, I'm getting in pretty consistently. Cosmo, thank you. I don't need a replica Ordis. Don't need a replica Ordis. Now, with that, guys, we've had a good whole load of chatter. We've got a load of learning and understanding done with regards to Caliban, Nataruk, and Slashprox in general, because that's a pretty big deal. We've actually done no grinding today. We did the sortie, and then that was it. We had a lot to talk about. Unfortunately, though, that is the end of what we've got time for today, guys. So, which means it's now about time that we get on with today's Platinum giveaway. If you've not yet got yourself a ticket for that Platinum giveaway, make sure you hit the blue spanner icon at the bottom of your chat window. I'm just going to bring up the bits and pieces to do the Platinum giveaway. Let me just grab that here. Oops, I accidentally turned off the Warframe. Let's turn that back on, shall we? There we go. That's a bit silly. Let's find where this is all at. So I'm going to give you guys just a little moment longer whilst I set up the spinnery doodles, and then I'm going to turn off the entries. So hurry up, tick-tock, clock's ticking. Let's see, and I'm going to close it now, which is a few seconds ago your time because delays. You know, that's just how it works. So I've closed the entries. If you're in, you're in, and if you can't click it, well, hope to goodness you already got it in. I've given you guys plenty enough time to get in on that. And so let's have a look then for today's spinner. How many names have we got in on this here today? We've got, bam, this many. Any one of you guys, any one of you on this list here, which I'm going to shuffle a few times over for the hell of it, is going to be walking away with that 75 platinum on any platform. Now, you're going to be one of you though today, and that winner is Spiderfan 2776. Spiderfan, congratulations, my dude. You are today's winner of the Platinum Raffle. I'll be reaching out to you here on Twitch shortly after the stream has ended. What I'll be getting is your Warframe username and your platform to make sure we can get this Platinum over to you. Just those two bits, and we'll get it over to you. To the rest of you, thank you very, very much for joining in on today's stream. We're going to be raiding on over now to another part of the Warframe community. We're going to go see, you know, who we can give a bit of the love to. Who do we want to give a bit of love to? Who's on that we can raid? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This is always the difficult bit of choosing who do we want to give a little bit of love to. We're going to just open up the Warframe category. Let's see. Who do we want to say hi to? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Do remember as well, guys, there isn't going to be a stream on Friday. Friday is Christmas Eve here in the UK. So instead, the next stream will be on Sunday, which will be more Warframe. And in case you've missed a notification about it, I am doing a very special stream on the first stream of the new year. I'm going to be doing an Ask Me Anything stream, a very big focus on the questions first, Warframe second, if we do anything. Green screen is working pretty well. Oh yeah, it's doing a good job, isn't it? Yeah. I got it well set up. But yeah, so if you have got any questions you want to put into that Ask Me Anything, and more importantly, if you want questions which have a deeper answer to them, something where it's better if I can kind of prepare around it, then absolutely get those questions over into the Discord, !Discord for that. Who are we going to raid on over to... who do we want to go to today? You know what? I'm just going to see if I can actually raid this person. Just make sure the raid will work before I declare it. And of course there's adverts. I'm just going to make sure we can actually get through to this channel before we do it. But if so, I think I found a place we're going to go, guys. Remember, of course, when we do raid on over, you want to show love of this community. You want to be... you want to be your very best selves. Don't become a problem. Just go solve a problem. Just check, are we good to raid? Yep, we're good to raid. There it is. Alright, I've declared it now. We're going to raid on over to Sandy Pants. Thank you very much, guys, for joining in on today's stream, and I'll see you on Sunday for some more frame. Maybe a bit more grinding on that one. That's all from me. Bye, guys!